Good evening, it is Friday. And time for another Wearded Beirdos podcast. As a warning to those with zero sense of humor, or are otherwise, little bitches, please stop listening now. Dr. Chadder, and the bearded techie, will most certainly cross lines of moral decency that are well beyond the average shit and fart joke you may be used to. The show is unscripted, and in the moment, so, who knows what will fall out of their dirty little mouths. That being stated, please give them a thumbs up, subscribe, and feel free to chime in on the conversation with a comment. Additionally, you may join their mailing list at weirdedbeirdos.com and be automatically entered in future contests and free giveaways. If you are willing to call in, send a text to 530 YouTube with your name and topic, and we may give you a call. And now, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, the funniest duo in their personal universe. The Wearded Beirdos.
Yeah. I want to call the one the Wearded Beirdos Worldwide. Weird news. I found some doozies. Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's show. Prior to going live, we were discussing our potential pen pal situation with murderers and such, with Steve's obsession with killers. Which I'd rather have him be obsessed with killing than killing actual people. Because that would really put a damper on our friendship. Because I'm going to get blamed for it and probably go down for it. Because, privilege and all. Anyway, so Jenny has been going through guys that she would be interested in dating.
How about this guy?
Had they were set free. And she's got James. You like older men? He's 52.
I was looking for older men 50 plus.
Oh, you specifically looked for that?
Yeah.
Is that a thing for you?
I don't know. What are they in there for? It's not gang related.
Oh, it's
Probably
not a personal.
Not.
I thought
yeah,
you
it's
meant
not
like
a personal. Like, I love guys that are over 50.
I like gray.
Only them.
I like gray bald murderers myself.
Especially if they're into killing.
Right.
So you were just like, I want to find someone over 50?
Yeah, because I figure they'd be in there for something pretty bad.
You figure they've been there a while.
Get like a guy that's like, he just got involved with some gang related activity, and it
only been in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just got his account. Okay, we'll click on. What did he do? What's his?
Oh, let me go back to him. I lost him there.
Are you keeping that for yourself? Right there, James 52 from Michigan.
Yeah.
He's a Michigander. Wasn't that?
Oh yeah, that's the one. That's the guy.
He's like a nice, wholesome gentleman.
Yeah.
Churchgoer.
Yeah, he just screams Aryan Nation to me.
Really?
Yeah, look at him.
Oh, it's because his head is shaved, or what?
I don't know. You could just tell.
Maybe he's just balding.
Right. I can't. Why guys can't just go bald without being Aryan?
Not when you're in prison.
He wasn't in prison at the time. It doesn't look like. Because he's wearing a watch and.
All right, scroll down. Let's read his little bio here.
Get into the deets. See, I don't like that already. He's automatically lying to us because his Christian name is James, but he wants you to call him Scott. So what'll happen is if I send you a letter to Scott Risk, when your DOJ is under James Risk, will they kick it back or will they?
They only go off your number.
Okay. Then we're good. It was James Scott here.
All right, I'll write him.
What's he in for? Did it say?
Wait, I didn't get it. Let's read this.
He's Christian.
Sorry.
He's in for. Just scroll down a little bit. Let's get the whole thing in view here. Serving time for bank robbery. I owe a debt to society and my community, and diligently do what I can to repay the debt. I spend my time working a lot. Yeah, he probably has to pay a lot of restitution if he got caught robbing banks.
Oh, that's what he's in for? Yeah, I would like to talk to him.
He is a straight single man, and he would like to correspond with anyone interested. Yeah, because when I look at him, I think, is he gay? He better clarify.
Yeah,
hey, whoa.
It's his posture,
you're scrolling all over the place here. What the hell's going on?
Sorry.
Yeah, he's got a good heart, apparently. He's a good guy, good listener, down to earth. He likes growing flowers. Let's see. Yeah, he's got his address there.
I think the character of your heart has nothing to do with you being him. You still be a good a good-hearted man and be a bank robber.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's more of a crime against the system because what's their excuse? It's a victimless crime because the government backs the funds stolen.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, they're guaranteed.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't think he's like a horrible person.
Now, if he was a purse snatcher.
I wonder how many years he's serving. Did it say?
Scroll down. It'll probably have his soonest release date. Max release date 2046.
Ooh. So there's probably a weapon involved.
Yeah, he probably had more on his record than just bank robbery too. It probably was stacking up, multiple felonies.
Yeah.
He had his second and third chances already, I'm sure.
He's in Michigan. Isn't that crazy? Midwest guy.
Yeah, it can't be trusted.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find. This is him here. So 2012. Okay, hold on. 2008. Man already in prison for robbery is charged with 2008 bank heist in Ionia. And there he is. Yeah, he's been bald a while.
Yeah.
A man already serving up to 87 years for multiple counts of armed robbery has been charged in a 2008 bank robbery of a United Bank in Ionia County Sheriff officials said.
87 years.
So he was already doing time for armed robbery. The bank just caught up to him. So he's not as cool as he puts himself out to be.
Yeah.
87 years for armed robbery.
He's in the Midwest. I mean, that's
just for jacking people. I mean, you're not even killing anybody. You're just pointing a gun at him and saying, give me the money.
Yeah.
And then 87 fucking years. That's a long time. He's not getting out. Yeah,
because it doesn't go into detail. Because if it was like a heinous crime, it would have went down like, hey, he did this. But they just mentioned, he's already doing 87 years. Let's see here. After passing a note to a bank employee that he had a gun. So he might not even had a gun on. He just passed a note.
Yeah, he just got to say he has a gun.
Yeah. He had a motorcycle helmet on, fled on a motorcycle. Risk is currently an inmate. I mean, his last name is Risk. He should have had an eye on him. Risk. If that doesn't do it, nothing else does. Serving time for 3 counts of armed robbery because he is incarcerated. No bond is okay. Obviously, no bond has been set during his recent arraignment. And so this was in 2000. Oh, just last January, not this most recent, but January 2019.
It says posted on March 2012, updated 2019.
Yeah, he's never getting out. So it's probably not going to work out with you guys, Jen. I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah.
He's
got to be creepier.
Yeah.
I look for someone
if you're
that's interesting to talk to.
All right. So there's our guest for the day. We'll be with you in 2 minutes if you can hear us. So we can clear up the... I wonder if she would... I don't know if she's single or not, but she may be willing to date a prisoner. Yeah, she's thumbs up for the dating a prisoner or just thumbs up so you can hear us? All right. We done with that? Want to bring her in?
Yeah.
All right. So today, our guest is Miss Courtney Lyons. Why is it not? Did it freeze up on us?
Yeah, looks like her video feed.
Can you hear us? Can you see us?
There we go.
There she is. Hello.
Yeah. Sorry about that, guys.
Not a problem. So, are you single?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we were just looking. Are you in Canada right now, or are you in the States?
Yeah, I'm in Canada.
Okay, they probably don't have criminals up there, do they? So
they don't have what?
Criminals. We were looking up potential murderers to become pen pals with and like try to get their story and just because Steve over here is. I'm Jeremy, by the way.
Yeah. I'm Steve.
Jen.
And so we were just looking up. Jen looked up older murderers because of a fetish I think we need to discuss off the air. So
let's not talk about it.
All right, so I found you on Facebook and that you had a life-changing story, which we can get into. If you want to introduce yourself to the world, go ahead. While Steve gets the camera back up.
I'm Courtney. I I'm having a little bit of feedback. Sorry. But I am an actor from Toronto, Ontario. And yeah, just doing the actor things.
I did watch were you Laura the neighbor in the one movie?
Maybe. Oh yeah, the Susan Sarandon one, right?
Yes, yeah, because you had a scene with her when she showed up at the house and then she asked you what was the name of the movie? Do you remember offhand so we can
The Calling.
The Calling, there it is. I had to sign up on Amazon for the CBS, it was a free trial for the CBS package channel. And so in order to do that, it's like $5.99 a month, but I got a free trial for 30 days just in order to watch the film, which was a pretty good film. Did you get to meet Topher Grace and everybody else, or were you just kind of with Susan Sarandon?
Most of my scenes were with Susan, but I got to hang out with them on set at Pro days.
How was that? Is that cool?
It was like a life dream come true.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I enjoy him because from the 70s show, but also the stuff he does cheesy. What's the one movie he's in? Where he rides the ball. Take Me Home Tonight. Sorry, it takes place in the late mid 80s. You never seen it?
No.
It's pretty good. I highly recommend it. Anyway, we digress. So catch us up with your life-changing story.
So I lost 100 pounds.
Oh, wow.
And I ended up with this rare weight loss delayed. Sorry, there's so much feedback. So yeah, I ended up with this weird rare disorder from losing weight that no one had ever heard of or seen before. So I spent about 7 years being really sick, not being able to act. And eventually I diagnosed it all myself and the treatment and everything and begged doctors to remove my kidney, and they did, and I got better.
Wow. So, okay. So you were losing the weight just for personal life choices?
I was told it was a healthy decision.
Was it how you went about it that caused the damage, or
no? It's
already there, and then
some rare screwed up thing that can happen to some people. Not very often. I mean, it's a 1 in 2 or 3 million chance it happens to you, but it's something that can happen.
So that's why I choose to stay fat.
See, exactly. I'm all game for this.
So, what were the side effects of the condition?
I had basically it felt like I had kidney stones, and I peed a lot of blood, and I'd lose consciousness sometimes.
Oh my God!
Wow, that's
severe.
Yeah, it was really, really rough for a number of years.
So, how long did it take you over the span? How long did it take for you to lose the 100 pounds?
About a year.
Was that the goal? Was the 100, or that's when the illness hit you?
Well, that was when the illness hit me, and I didn't know for sure it was weight loss that had caused it. I had always been a really big girl, and I had always been super tired. And one day on the internet, I read that you could give up gluten and it could make you less tired and help you lose weight. And I was like, what the fuck? I'll try it. So I did. And 2 weeks later, I felt amazing, and I just kept losing weight like crazy, and I felt better and better, and I got into eating healthier and healthier. And then, about a year later, it started to change where I'd start getting these weird sweats, or I'd feel dizzy, or, I'd have pain, or these sorts of things. But I'd go to the doctor and they'd be like, all the tests are fine, sounds like it's your mental health.
Isn't that crazy? Geez. So they make you think you're crazy.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Wow. So,
yeah.
Oh my God, I'm lost. This, the fact that I'm upset because they tried to convince you that you were crazy versus, hey, let's kind of figure out what's going on.
Yeah. How many experts did you have to see before someone finally was like, I think this is what it is?
Oh, I saw 30, but no one ever thought it was what it was. So here in Canada, our healthcare is free. So I went to emergency maybe about 25 times after, things would get really rough, and I'd show up and I'd be like, man, I just passed out. And then they started to send me to specialists. I maybe saw about 30 specialists. No one ever figured it out. I literally did. And I mean, they thought I was, at this point, they were already suspecting maybe I wasn't mentally well. So then I show up with like these binders and books and I'm like, I figured it out. It's this, you know? And they're like, no, you're even worse than we thought you were in terms of mental health. So it took 2 years again of just going to doctor. And then finally I kind of got angry and I was just like, listen, guys, call me mentally ill at a human rights tribunal, because it's almost like you're denying me treatment potentially because you think I'm mentally ill. And then they did. So they took out my kidney, and during surgery, they were able to diagnose that I was right and I had that condition, and I got better.
Wow. So you actually hunted down all the information and the diagnosis yourself, and they confirmed it.
Yeah.
Man.
So was there any other documented cases on this, or is it now the Courtney Lyons kidney disease?
No, it's totally documented. It's called Nutcracker Syndrome. And there's people who have had it. It's just not seen very often. So I was able to like find people around the world on Facebook who also had the disorder and hear their stories, which are kind of similar to mine.
Why do they call it Nutcracker Syndrome?
Oh my God. Well, you obviously know there's not a lot of medical attention when it's called Nutcracker Syndrome. And it's called that because the vein for your kidney gets stuck between an artery and your spine. So when you move around, it clamps down like your veins a nut.
Okay. So losing the weight caused this artery to shift, I guess, into a new spot where it was getting...
Yeah. You have, it turns out you have fat pads all inside your body. And sometimes if you lose weight, you can actually lose those fat pads and they kind of help keep things separated inside.
Okay. Yeah, it's called suet in beef. It's the best, like it's bright white, pure fat. It's kidney fat and lamb. I was a butcher before I was a chiropractor, but when you grind up and add pork and a lot of game don't have fat within the meat, and so they'll take kidney fat or the suet from the cow and mix it in to make the sausage have more flavor. Otherwise, that's why you can't just grind up wild game and make sausage or anything like that. So you got to add beef fat to it. That's the only reason I know. I mean, I know that there's fat there from gross anatomy, but sorry, it's a side note that. So if you had wild game sausage, it had kidney fat from a cow. Yeah,
the more you learn.
That. Yeah, that's stupid stuff that I know. And so, how long ago was the kidney removal diagnosis fiasco?
Last May. So about the middle of last May, I had surgery. And I actually wanted my kidney donated because the weird thing with this disorder is they can remove your kidney, but it still functions quite fine. It's just in your body, it becomes choked. So I wanted to give it away to somebody else, but I couldn't.
Oh, wow. So they couldn't have just they couldn't just they could have probably left the kidney in there, right? So that they would have just
they couldn't just shift the artery somewhere, or
no. What they could do is they could shift the kidney. Like the more effective treatment would be to take the kidney from one side of the body and put it in like the pelvis on the left side or on the right side. But I couldn't find anyone who really I felt comfortable doing that. Like it's a harder surgery than just taking the kidney out. So I was like, hey guys, just take out my kidney and do a surgery you've done 100 times and I can trust you with than something you're trying the first time.
Wow. Well, you must have made somebody's day with the kidney though. I mean,
well, no, because in the end I wasn't able to donate it. So I really wanted to. Yeah, but just because of the complication of everything, last minute it wasn't donated, unfortunately.
Would you have it now like a pickle jar on the shelf?
No, I should though. I got a report saying it was all, a different color and all this sort of jazz.
Since you've done this one, you need to go on Amazon or whatever the equivalent is for up there. Buy a fake kidney, put it in a pickle jar, and next time you do a podcast, well, yeah, it's right here, and just pick it up and show it to the people. That would be hilarious.
Yeah. So, yeah. They released it here in this.
Where's your kidney now? Oh, it's right here. Just turn and
I had it pickled.
They're delicious.
Yeah, have like a cucumber in there floating with it.
Take it out and bite it, or I guess like a pickled Bigfoot.
Yeah,
and just bite down into it. Oof. But the good news is, had you have had that same condition in America, you'd be dead now.
Well, I definitely would either be dead or
Locked
a
up.
millionaire, or I won the lottery, but I had to spend it all on my health. Either one of those could be possible. Yeah.
They would have doped you up full of so many drugs and you'd have died of something completely unrelated. Just because.
Yeah.
So was there
not
a
a good system?
I agree.
So you had zero bill, right? And it was like $0 for your medical costs.
Yeah, I mean, I paid for medicinal marijuana for a number of years, which was quite pricey. But that was my big expense. And not working, caused a lot of debt for me, but I didn't have medical debt at all.
That's good.
Yeah, when you get a job in America after you do that, you're still in debt.
Yeah.
We're up there. You were too high to care that you were unemployed and kidneyless.
Absolutely. No, we take care of our own, or we try to.
Yeah. Good old USA. So I'll probably be moving up there by November 4th or so, depending what happens in the next month and a half or so. It's a terrifying time. So what is your view of America from up there?
It's kind of scary being your guy's neighbor lately. Is really like it, things are just, I had a friend a couple weeks ago say something like, it wouldn't really surprise me if there was a civil war, it's kind of gotten to that point. And it's terrifying, like not that I don't understand what the protests are about or support them 100%. And I'm not meaning that. I'm just meaning the chaos within your government. It almost seems sometimes like, and with the postal boxes, you're being repressed in ways that I couldn't imagine happening in a first world country in 2020.
Yeah, America's quirky like that.
Yeah, we're the first world country. We're the standard. And I guess Trump Jr. just sent an email or had a robocall of encouraging people on his list to vote by mail, even though they're trying to suppress that. So it's a weird dynamic as to what they're.
Trump is bipolar. He's just deluded. He just does and says whatever. He's like, no, let's do this right now, and then he'll do it.
Why? Because it's Friday.
That's why. And then he'll change his mind. And like, fuck it.
Yeah.
I think this week I read something about the CDC and Trump and the CDC have I guess reconciled. They've made up, but now the CDC doesn't recommend testing if you don't have symptoms for COVID.
Yeah, that's the newest thing floating around, saying that they pressure from the top caused them to change their outlook on people who don't have symptoms. So if you don't have symptoms, don't bother getting tested, versus before it was test everybody. And now they bow down to whatever pressure and stuff like that. I've been busy all weekend. I've been trying to watch the RNC and stuff like that. But I don't watch a lot of TV in general just because it's so depressing right now. I'm tired of watching people that look like me get shot.
Yeah.
And so it's weird because I have to take extra. I've considered going to Canada, but I have to take extra. I'm a chiropractor, and up there I got to take a whole another set of exams, like 5 exams, to practice in the country.
Oh, it doesn't just follow you, huh?
No, it's totally, which is crazy because most of the people who live up there were educated here. And so there's only one college, and you can only get in once a year.
Really?
Up in Canada. I had a classmate that was from Canada. That's the only reason I know that. And she's back in Canada now, but like we take national boards here, but they're separate. And so while the person that lived here was taking theirs up there, so I mean the same thing, the same process that I went through, except for I had to do it again, and I'm good.
Yeah.
I'll just be a criminal up in Canada because
you could just do consulting.
Probably.
Yeah.
There you go.
Give me a sugar mama or something like that. They have sugar mamas in Canada.
You know what? Right now, we're all sugar mamas in Canada. Our government took care of us so good when COVID hit. They said you can have this much every month for the next,
Really? Let's hear about that. How much did you get?
I don't know if I want to hear it.
I know. I'm going to be so jealous.
It already sucks you debt free from kidney removal. So,
what kind of stimulus did Canada decide to do?
So what happened was for COVID, like I got hit harder, and I think a lot of my artist friends got hit really hard because we were all like waiters and actors, and they shut everything down, and we didn't qualify for unemployment insurance. And I guess it turned out like over half the country wouldn't have qualified for unemployment insurance because they were self-employed or what have you. So the government came up with a new benefit called CERB, which was $2,000 a month for 26 weeks. And you just received it as long as you could prove that you had you'd earned $5,000 the year before and that you had to stop working because of COVID.
Hold on. They had to make up a reason to give you money. That's how, like, you know what? You're struggling. Half of you probably wouldn't qualify. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and create a program to hook you up because we love you as a nation.
Yeah.
America sucks.
What did they have for people who didn't qualify for that?
Well, I mean, anyone who didn't qualify was probably already on, like, we have social assistance and disability. So basically anyone, I think, who hadn't already been earning, say, $5,000 in 12 months prior, they were assumed that they were probably on one of those programs already, or maybe they had a trust fund or something. You know what I mean? Right. But I think majority of us went on CERB. We all qualified.
That's amazing. $2,000 a month.
Is that livable?
Yeah.
What do you live in, like the country, or do you live in like a
is that
city?
Canadian dollars?
That is Canadian dollars. So I mean, it's much less in American. Yeah.
But still, is that a livable wage?
It's borderline where I was. So I mean, okay, I live in Toronto, but right now I'm in Northern Ontario, so I'm out in the country because that's where I was born and raised. Toronto, our rent, and it's very specific to just Toronto in Canada or Vancouver, large cities, but our rent became unlivable. So since COVID, it's been like dropping slightly where it's starting to become more and more livable. But 2000 wasn't quite livable for Toronto. I would say it was livable for smaller cities, though.
But the fact that the rent was high because of COVID, you know what? Again, we're going to throw people a bone. We're going to go ahead and lower rent. Yeah. I think rent probably went up here in America. We live in Denver. We live in one of the most expensive cities in the country. But
yeah, landlords were just ruthless when it came to COVID. They did not care if you lost your job.
Zero fucks. Yeah,
I want my fucking check, and it better be here, or I'm going to evict your ass.
So up in Canada, our government passed a rule for, I think, about 4 or 5 months where no one was allowed to be evicted.
Nice.
So then that way, you know what I mean? If people were behind, they wouldn't have to deal with any of that.
Nice.
My family fucked me so hard. But they came in the turn of the last century, like 1910. So my great grandfather came over on the boat. He was 10 years old. They could have easily just, you know what? Let's go to Canada.
Yeah.
So they podunk ass Iowa, the middle of fucking nowhere, Iowa. It fucked me over big time. Yeah, like you came after that. Man, good old
Midwest
Colorado Steve over here.
Yeah, but I mean, they don't have like the same climate we do. It's not like you can go from the West Coast to the East Coast and experience the desert and the tropicals and the highlands and the forest.
Right. What's the average high right now in the summer?
Well, the summer gets okay. First off, we're in Celsius, so like 32, 33 Celsius.
Gorgeous. Yeah, I don't even know what that is.
Sorry.
Let's
see. That's 89 degrees Fahrenheit.
That's hot for you guys?
That's hard for us. I mean, sometimes with humidity, it gets into the 90s, but that's it.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
With humidity, you gotta get wow. See, Canada's that's God's country.
Well, no, ask me how cold it gets.
Yeah,
I can imagine.
Oh, I believe it.
Go ahead, hit us with it. Because 0 is freezing, right? In Celsius?
Yeah. So we could get up to like minus 30.
Ooh.
Yeah. Like you can't go outside or else like parts of you freeze. Yeah.
Yeah. We've dealt with that in
that sounds like Minnesota.
And Iowa.
Yeah, I'm from Iowa. So Minnesota's a higher level, but we're used to cold, but not that
it's not
cold.
That much of a difference.
See, when I was in Alaska, but I was in the Aleutian, so it wasn't that cold because the Gulf Stream came up and kept the islands warm compared to the mainland, which you wouldn't think because like 70 degrees almost all year round in most places, except for you're trapped on an island. That's kind of a weird way to live. Are there a lot of minorities up there? Like, how many black people do you know?
I know a handful or so.
Handful.
But no, like, I mean, I'm from Sault Ste. Marie, And I would say in our city growing up, never met a Black person. In fact, I actually didn't until I went to Georgia when I was 4. That was like my first encounter.
United States, Georgia.
In the U.S. in some McDonald's playland, I saw a Black guy and a Black boy in the thing, and I didn't know what was happening because he was a different color. So I asked if he needed help, and my parents were so embarrassed.
Oh, I'm not getting in there. That's what happened to them.
Yeah.
I don't want nuggets. I'm good.
Oh man.
Oh yeah, Georgia's the worst place. There's Black people everywhere down there.
Yeah, Georgia's a very black place.
I've never seen so many Black people in one place. Then when I was went to I go there for a concert or something, and then it was during like a Black music festival, so it's even worse. Not that Black people are bad.
I was just supposed to say maybe not worse. Like it could have been better actually.
Wow. But then nobody knew where Martin Luther King's childhood home was. And we were like 2 blocks away from it the entire time. Kept asking people and no one knew where it was.
No, so you figured it out eventually.
Yeah, we found like a little map, but no one knew where it was. White, Black included. And we were like literally blocks away from it.
Yeah, well, that's not something you would think to know of. I mean, today I'm going to go find out where Martin Luther King's childhood home is.
But there's a monument in the state of Atlanta. Yeah, it's a whole. They took the whole street and then redesigned the street to how it was when he was a kid. So it's kind of cool. Wow. So if you ever next time you go back to the McDonald's in Georgia, go to the Martin Luther King childhood home. So
will do. I mean, if we ever open our borders to the U.S. again, I'll definitely go.
Oh, you guys have closed it to the United States, huh?
You can come and go, can't you?
No, I don't think so. Or if I can, I can't come back into Canada. We're kind of on like a lock thing.
Yeah, you don't want to be stuck here.
Yeah, we've just got significantly less COVID cases.
Isn't there more people in the state of California than the entire country of California or of Canada or something like that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, quite possibly.
Yeah, there's not a lot of people up there.
Wow.
How many times have you been to America? Just that one time when you saw the Black boy?
No. No, I've been a lot. My grandma has a place down in Florida. So she's Canadian, but she spends her winters in Sarasota. So I used to go down maybe once a year to get away from the snow.
Oh, you're right. 39 million people in California and 37 million people in Canada.
See, isn't that crazy? Who would have knew?
I didn't realize there was so few people there. I mean, they have so much land. I guess a lot of it is, too much. It's just forest, I guess. Yeah. That's crazy.
Have you traveled throughout most of the country just because you live there? Or are you just you've seen one?
Because I'm an actor, I got to do these like cool tours across Canada and the US and Brazil. So I've gotten to see a lot of it.
Dang. What took you to Brazil? Like in another movie or?
No, it was like this kind of like up with people like this children's choir or whatever. And we spent a summer traveling. We got to spend a couple weeks in Brazil doing concerts.
Man.
That's the life.
This is the worst conversation I've ever had as far as how I feel about America now.
Yeah, I was never afforded these things.
We went to see Mount Rushmore. Like that was that's what we got. Or Okoboji, something.
At least you got to do that.
Yeah, I didn't think you could go down Mount Rushmore.
Well, they would have like annual things where you could go to like DC and stuff, but I never cared to go to DC.
Yeah, I think only like the smart kids, like AP reading club, got to go to those things in my school.
Yeah,
and it was like $500, so there was no way my parents weren't fucking doing it.
Yeah, they don't love you that much. But she's going to Brazil and stuff.
Brazil?
Yeah. I'm trying to think. Any questions about Canada?
Have you done any movies recently?
No, I got back into like with my agent and auditioning and stuff in the middle of February this year, and I booked my first job, and everything got shut down. So I haven't even gotten to work it. It's been shut down for months. Yeah. So nothing recently. When I was sick, I did this little short film that was kind of like I don't know, like one of those mind-messing experimental films. So it's been doing a lot of like festivals. even now, like in like India or like Japan or like places I've never heard of. Every once in a while, I'll get an email to be like, your film's been accepted to this festival.
So the Nowhere show, I looked up, if you do a search, a Dark Conscience shows up on YouTube, but it's just like an hour of just the picture of the cover. So that was kind of annoying. And the call was on. I saw the 12 Monkeys, but you were only in like 2 episodes, so I highly doubt I remember.
Yep.
12 Monkeys, but that's a great series.
Yeah.
You guys have watched it, but it's
I saw the
fucking
Bruce Willis
fantastic.
movie.
Did you enjoy the movie?
It was weird. I didn't understand it.
Watch it again, but yeah, the series is fantastic.
Yeah.
You've got to really enjoy if you enjoy the time travel genre. If you don't, you're probably not going to enjoy it because it's basically 6 seasons of just time travel back and forth and stuff. So it's probably the best one ever done, in my opinion.
Okay. So, do you do like free acting for independent filmmakers or people who have like really low budgets and they just need somebody and or do you only do paid gigs?
No. I have an agent and I'm part of the union. So they all arrange when I go to work, but normally they pay me really well. If it's something like I want to do, so like with Nowhere, it was a friend of mine who had written something and she wanted to try directing and putting it on a reel. So for that, I was like, okay, we could talk to the union, but it took like so much paperwork just to get me to have permission to be able to work on
so can't do free stuff and without permission.
I can do free stuff without them having any permission, but they kick me out afterwards.
Really?
Then that means you can't.
So okay. Wow. That's crazy. So you can't just donate your time. You have to clear it with the union and get the proper authorization. Wow. That's complicated. I never thought about, actors needing a union or anything like that. I think of like pipe fitters and stuff.
Well, the Screen Actors Guild is like that. You need, when I was in LA, I have an IMDB account as well. We were talking about that on Facebook, but you got to do 3 SAG. I never did anything that was SAG, but if it's SAG sanctioned, there's tons of free stuff going on all the time in LA. But then you're at the mercy of, and you won't get anything residual. But if you join the Screen Actors Guild, you got to do 3. You get 3 vouchers, so you got to do 3 films or projects like a commercial that's SAG affiliated, and then you get a voucher. When you get your 3rd voucher, you turn it in, and then you become a member of that, and then you're I think the lowest paying gig as even an extra is like $175 for the day. But plus you get residuals every time that's ran and rerun. You get more. So like you probably getting, when I watched CBS of that thing that I got for free, even though I didn't pay for it, I probably threw you a couple cents. So you're welcome for that, for me to contribute to your sugar.
Thank
mama.
you. No, the residuals are amazing because you don't know when they're going to happen. So you just like open up your email account or your mailbox, and there'll be like a little thing saying, "Oh, we just deposited this much money in your account." And I mean, I had like a super small part in the film, and I was not in any way essential, and I still make like $1,000 from it a year, just random gifts in my bank account.
Wow.
That's legit. It's almost worth it.
I didn't think
Yeah, if you could put up with a crap load of rejection, go and be an actor.
Well, Morgan Freeman didn't start acting until he was 45.
Do you know who that is up there? They have Morgan Freeman.
Oh, Morgan Freeman. Oh my God. Yeah, he's God. Who doesn't know who Morgan Freeman is?
He is God.
I don't know what kind of like television is up there. I assume the same stuff that's down here, but just
He plays God a lot.
So do you have to?
Yeah, he does.
Do you when you take gigs for acting? How does that work for American jobs? Do they fly you down here, or do you have to come?
No. To be honest, a lot of American jobs are filmed here in Toronto or in Vancouver because it's cheaper.
The entire 10 seasons of Smallville was filmed in Canada.
Really?
Because of the tax breaks.
Yeah.
And the climate's consistent throughout the year for the most part.
Wow. Yeah. I never would have thought.
I have no idea what I did there.
So we don't get big parts because they already go, all the American actors that are famous get the big parts, and then whatever's left over, they kind of round us all Canadians up and see what we'd like.
Are there famous, what Canadian actors would I know?
Drake.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Not really an actor, but yeah, you totally know.
Howie Mandel's Canadian.
Howie Mandel? Who the hell is Howie Mandel?
But there are so many Canadians. Like John Candy was Canadian.
Oh.
Canadian bacon.
Oh, Howie Mandel. He's Canadian.
Ellen Page. I just watched Umbrella Academy. She was Canadian. Is Canadian.
She's the red-haired girl in the.
Yeah, she played the pregnant girl in Juno.
Mm-hmm.
The main character.
Oh, that's Ellen Page. I'm thinking. Who are you thinking of? I don't know. Some red-haired girl. On Spider-Man.
Oh, Kirsten Dunst?
No, that's the old Spider-Man. She's talking about the newer one.
The one that's always in romances.
Oh,
with,
she's an easy A.
Yeah,
Ryan Gosling.
I don't like her.
Ain't Ryan Gosling Canadian?
Yeah, Ryan Gosling's Canadian, I think. Isn't he?
Yeah, he was on. You can't do that on television, right, or something like that. I used to love that show.
Okay. Oh, so there's more Canadian like famous actors than I thought. I was just thinking I don't ever hear about anyone from Canada coming out of that.
Because they don't want people to know. They
probably
got it like that.
Yeah, they have. Because
the next Canadian I meet, I'm beating his ass for even being in this country.
Okay.
Why would you give that? Why would you come all the way down here and risk your life by me? And when Canada's got it going on, they're paying you $2,000 a month to keep your ass up there.
Stay-at-home funds.
What kind of? I wonder what kind of social welfare programs they have.
They probably don't need it for the most part.
Well, no.
What's
we have, like I said before, we have good or not. I mean, amazing. You don't live a great life, but you could, have a roof over your head and food in your belly. And then we were trying some universal basic income.
Yes,
programs.
I saw that in a couple of places. Yeah.
But unfortunately, our government turned conservative and they canceled it all when they came into power. But we'll get it back. We'll just vote liberal next time.
Your economy is probably booming because of oil and all the exports are probably ridiculous up there. Or they're allowed to have all the oil.
I think that the oils, I've heard the oil's not doing well. I'm not like an oil expert. That's in the other part of the country, but I have heard some things that it's not doing well. Lots of protests about pipelines.
Regulation, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because once you drill it, you got to get it to the, consumer. So you got to pipe it in somewhere or ship it in somewhere. You got to get it to a boat or a truck or a train.
Yeah, but isn't the pipeline cuts to the country, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, I think it was it wasn't making a huge amount of profit. And I think they're still trying. And I'm really summarizing my view on it. But in Canada, in the States, Black Lives Matter. And they matter in Canada too. But we have a bigger problem with Indigenous oppression. And so they had these pipelines going through and our government was like, listen, we're going to acknowledge how horrible we have treated Indigenous people in our country and we're going to make amends. And then they were like, but we're going to drive this pipeline through your property without your permission, a couple weeks later. So it kind of all went to shit.
Okay.
So by Indigenous, you mean like Native Americans? Or... Okay.
I heard a couple of those, not a couple, but a lot of the Indigenous communities up there have serious problems with alcoholism.
Yeah, we were really awful to them. When Canada was founded, there was a lot of horrible things that happened to those communities. A lot of them have, a lot of broken healing parts that need to be healed as a result.
You don't think it's a genetic thing?
Oh God, no. No, not at all.
How Indian people like to drink? I don't know.
That's racist.
Wow.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's why she's on that side of the table because we don't want to get none of that on us.
I'm supposed to cover my face actually.
But that's excuse me, but Australia did the same thing. That's cool with that. Man, Canada. So yeah, I hate my parents. If they weren't dead, I'd be calling them up right now and cussing them out. You just had sex. 600 miles north. I
don't know. I like America
because you're white.
Yeah, true.
See, this is what we got to deal with.
Yeah.
America's fantastic.
Yeah, for me, it's fantastic. I wouldn't trade anything. I'm literally the best place I could be being me right now.
Are you not listening to this conversation, though? Canada's got it going on.
Yeah, but they don't have any black people up there.
They do, too. She says she's had a handful.
Yeah.
In the basement.
Well, I guess you don't want much competition.
So, right. I'll be a god up there. So, if you had to call one black person right now, could you do that? Do you know the number? Okay,
Yeah.
that's all I can know.
Sorry?
Did you have any Asian friends?
Asian friends? Yeah. Okay, so where I live in Toronto, Ontario. So I'm from Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. And that is like a really rural white town. But Toronto, it's the biggest city in Canada. And it's also the most culturally diverse city in like the entire world. So I think like I would say that over half the city is Asian. But I'm not, but it's like that sort of thing. So it's really amazing because there's just so many different cultures.
What city is it again?
Toronto.
Sorry, Toronto. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. That's so. I never would have imagined that Toronto being the most culturally diverse city in possibly the world.
All I know is they have that rich Sikh guy that's at every Toronto's basketball game.
Yeah.
Who? Is he famous up there? Because he's at every single game. He wears the turban. You can't miss it because you don't watch basketball, but you can't miss him. He's at every single game. Like he's a staple for the arena.
He's the #1 fan of the Raptors.
Yeah. And they tried basketball twice. It's working out this time.
Yeah.
Because of black people. Let's put that out there.
Well, I guess. Because of black people?
Yeah. There's no Canadian basketball team without black people. It doesn't work that way.
You don't think so?
Ask her.
No, I don't think that exists. Like, I'm not a huge basketball fan, but I'm fairly certain that does not happen.
Hockey's their thing. Hockey and weak rappers.
Yeah, you couldn't do hockey without white people.
Or Canadians.
Right. No, I think you do without Canadians.
Wayne Gretzky.
Come on, Mario Lemieux, come on.
Okay. Well, there are some good Canadians.
That's their thing. Like they grew up, like black people grew up playing basketball. Canadians grow up ice skating and playing hockey. It's not like a stereotype. This is what they do. Right? I'm assuming.
It's not a stereotype, but it's true.
Right. So have you ever dated a minority?
I have, yeah. My last partner, actually, he was from St. Lucia, but he had immigrated to Canada.
Okay.
From where?
Like, I guess you say by Bahamas.
Yeah, it's down there. It's like the Caribbean. It's part of those.
Yeah.
Okay. Like the Virgin Islands.
St. Kitts, it's in that little cluster.
Okay.
Of why would he leave? Yeah. That's a huge extreme. Why didn't it work out?
I think there were more opportunities for him, so he left because he could get a better job and better schooling and that sort of thing. But he was really, really cold all the time.
There's a lot more Canadians up here. That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I always wondered about Canada. There's so many things I didn't know.
So mysterious.
Yeah, it is mysterious. Well, all you think
close.
When I think of Canada, I think of
Canadian bacon.
No.
Maple syrup.
What the hell is his name?
Strange Brew. Is that a famous film up there? Is that a pop culture film? Strange
Which
Brew?
one?
With, McKinsey Brothers.
Never heard of it.
It's probably offensive to you guys. It's like our version of Blazing Saddles. But it's two guys. I don't even know they're even Canadian. They were on SCTV. And they had two characters. I think it was Jim and Doug.
Yeah, whenever I think about Canada, I think about the first thing that comes to my head is Michael Moore, and like because he featured Canada in a couple of his documentaries, and
the one with the free Sicko.
Was that
so we'll go up there and like I think it was Canada where you had to. Because always the myth that if you're in Canada, you got to wait months. Oh, let's talk about that. So you have to wait months to get into health. Like you're sick today, you got to wait months to get an appointment because it's free. Everybody's trying to go. That's the myth that is foretold down here.
No, if I was sick right now, like really sick, I would just go to a hospital and they would see me in a couple hours. Where I waited, and I think you would wait in the States as well, is I would wait months to see some of these specialists. But I think it was just because they were specialists.
Yeah, that's here too.
And they had you know what I mean, other patients to see.
Right. Yeah. Because here you got to get a referral from a primary care to get to the specialist, but then the specialist has to be okayed by your insurance company because obviously it charges more. But even here, like an MRI, sometimes some of my patients that try to get MRIs out of pocket is ridiculously expensive. If you want your insurance to pay for it, sometimes it takes 2, 3, 4 weeks to get an MRI. So Yeah, it's no.
It's about that here too. I mean, not because of insurance. Just if you wanted an MRI and it wasn't for like an urgent, you were going to get sicker if you didn't have it last week, then you'd wait probably 2 or 3 weeks, sometimes even 2 months, depending on what type of MRI in which city you lived in.
Okay. Oh, so
yeah, it'd be the same here. Yeah, if you fall and get into a major car accident or something like that, then yeah, they're going to do an MRI or CT right away. But if it's elective or not life threatening, you got to wait here. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Unless you want to pay out of pocket. There's imaging centers that will take you.
Oh yeah, anytime
today for $1,200. But who's got that laying around for an MRI?
Fuck that.
So get a really bright light and have someone stand behind me and take pictures.
Yeah, that's gonna work for sure.
It works for your finger and a flashlight.
Yeah, kind of.
So weirdo.
I bet if the light was bright enough, it might work, but you'd probably be on fire. Like for light to penetrate you like that.
I don't know. We could try it. And while we're at it, we can cure you with COVID with ultraviolet light up your butt. That's what Trump says.
Yeah.
Try
and bleach. IV bleach.
Yeah.
Yeah. He just makes shit up and he's like, yeah, I think this is gonna work.
Yeah.
So what's the crime rate? Michael Moore was always talking about like, there's no crime in Canada. You can walk up and no one locks their doors in Canada. You can just walk right in. And, is that true? Is there like almost no crime there? Do people not lock their doors?
Okay, I think if you're in a small city, you probably don't lock your doors. Like growing up, we didn't lock our doors. But when I moved to Toronto, I locked my doors like 3 or 4 times. So I think you still lock your doors in a big city because if not, you'll get strange people walk in.
Okay. Oh, have you ever had someone strange walk in before?
No, but I mean, I was an actor, so I had like, this like dingy little apartment. And I can remember once having to like call and just be like, there's a transient person who's nude in the hallway and he's really drunk and I can't get into my apartment. Can you come help? So there is still, some issues that we've got. It's not, you wouldn't want to have your door unlocked in a big city.
Yeah. I don't want to have my door unlocked anywhere.
Yeah, but he was just naked and chilling. Like he was like,
he wasn't a harm. Like he wasn't trying to hurt me. But at the same point, I couldn't get into my apartment. And I was like, I don't know. I don't want this naked guy 2 feet away from my door all night.
Yeah, it's just the circumstances there are so odd. I mean, that's not something that I would be able to easily ignore. I think I could ignore it. I think I would. So if I came home and there was a naked dude outside my apartment, I would just be like, God damn it. And then I would just go inside and I would just be like, this motherfucker better not be making noise out there all goddamn night.
I would take a selfie first.
Yeah, selfie.
Or I'll get butt naked, like, bro, what happened? Like, wake you up, what happened?
Yeah, that would.
That sounds fun.
Just standing there naked with him, just freaking like, bro, we're back from the future.
Because something happened where he had to get naked and he had to get into that building and it's like, what was going through his head?
Yeah, you guys still friends to this day?
Yeah, on Facebook all the time.
Oh.
Okay. But other than that, like crime is not like a huge deal. Like there's not like you're not hearing about murders or
anything like that. I mean, we get murders. In fact, I think we had in Toronto, we had like a serial killer for like a year and a half that they finally caught. And there was, I forget, but there were double-digit murders, over that time that he had it done. So people murder each other, and there's problems. We don't have a lot of gun violence because we don't have a lot of guns. There's still some, but we don't sell them the way you guys do in the States. So that helps. But no, I can't say we're crime free. Maybe we're just nicer to each other when we do it. I'm not sure.
Yeah, are all Canadians like really friendly?
They just lay around naked and come home.
we like legalized weed years ago. We've been pretty chill ever since then, I think.
Okay.
Wow. Like the whole country, right? Not like here, it's like a few states, but the whole country's legal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why they close their borders. But even trying to get in, like you used to be able to just drive across and drive back. Now you can't do that.
Yeah, especially if you have any type of criminal history, you definitely can't get into Canada. Even if you have a DUI, you can't get into Canada unless you pay like a huge fee.
Yeah, and you gotta get like sign like an affidavit of forgiveness, or like you're sorry, and
Something.
all that stuff. Like, yeah, it's crazy. Well, which is cool because you got cool people like Courtney that are just step over homeless men that are naked.
Why not let in a drunk?
I wonder if there's a way, like, if you could sneak into Canada and then somehow get your, how like Hispanics do, like they sneak into America, but then eventually they get all their documents.
Let's go. So you live in Toronto, right?
Yeah, I have to tell you guys, absolutely. Like, I don't want to speak for the entire country, but anyone can sneak in. And we've got like really awesome immigration policies. I'm sure we'll let you stay. I mean, I'm not the official spokesperson for the country, but we let everyone in.
That's amazing.
So, it's right there. Okay, so where are you at now? We're looking at Toronto on the map.
Okay.
Mississauga.
Mississauga.
Okay.
So Toronto's where I normally live, but for the summer, during COVID spring break, I have been up in Sault Ste. Marie.
Okay.
Which is in the middle of the Great Lakes. It's right on the border of Michigan.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Oh, went the wrong way. How do we zoom out? Oh, whoops. We're right. Okay, so there's Detroit. You say Ste. Marie?
Yeah, Sault Ste. Marie.
I guess I could probably. How do you spell it?
SAULTSTEMARIE.
Well, they don't make that very easy.
At all, right? I was like, where'd she get that? Yeah. Zoom out. Oh, yeah. So let's say Steve, Jenny, and Jeremy decided just to sneak into Canada. Would you pick us up?
Yeah, absolutely.
Cross over right where you're at. It's amazing.
Yeah, like really. Yeah, like are they really guarding that border right now?
Yeah, they're
okay.
Like border patrol.
I don't know on the Canadian side, but the American side, they really heavily guard. But they might not be guarding for you guys to leave, you know?
Yeah, like if I say to them, like, hey, I'm going to go swim across, you guys aren't going to stop me, are you?
Or we're just going paddleboarding.
Because
there you go.
Because they're just stop people from coming in and not going out, right? I mean, Border Patrol, they can't just stop. I mean, or are they there to enforce like that you do everything legally, like all border crossings, need to be done within these guidelines, and they're not going to let anyone.
I don't know. Well, I guess we can discuss that when we get there.
Yeah. God.
So we'll keep in touch because
all we need to do is hang out and just be like, yo, I need to pay a coyote. Get me across.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's not even that big a river. I think you could probably swim it. Bring your life jacket just in case there's a current, but
Yeah, but I'll be coming around November 4th. So
November 4th, yeah.
By that point, you might be able to walk across.
That's what I'm talking about. Okay. Can you swim? You fall in?
No, I can't swim.
Are you serious?
I'll need a life jacket.
I can swim like a fish. I'm from Iowa. You can swim, yeah?
Yeah.
White people swim.
Yeah, white people swim, typically.
Okay.
Swim lessons are usually...
we couldn't afford swim lessons, so...
No.
Just throw you in the water.
Yeah, that's why she needs a life jacket.
I will drown.
That's how you learn. You learn to swim really quickly. Survival of the fittest. Nothing personal. So yeah, November. You think I'm joking, but
no. Actually, I think if in November President Trump was elected again, I could understand. We just need to make a lot more rooms in our house.
I could see a spike in expats.
Oh, absolutely. But I'm thinking you got to get through. I got to get. Well, I guess if I went straight up into the Rocky Mountains, I highly doubt they're guarding. It'd be cold and treacherous. I probably wouldn't survive that. So you still got to get there, right?
Yeah.
So you got to think you got to travel through places like Chicago and Detroit and all that stuff to get to where.
Well, you don't have to drive through like downtown Detroit or Lansing or something. You avoid the darker places.
I don't want to get caught in the suburbs or out in the country with my skin tone.
Yeah,
because if it's so dangerous that I got to flee the country, I'm at risk as soon as because the Midwest. There's a reason I don't live in the Midwest anymore.
I'll have to drive you.
Yeah,
and then we get pulled over, I'll just tell him you work for me or something.
See, he's always trying to enslave me.
So I don't know if there's still like an underground railway that works, but at one point we had that like down, you know, everyone was able to get in an underground railway.
That was really a thing in Canada?
Yeah, that's what it was, right? The underground railway was how people were able to get to Canada. When they were being persecuted in the U.S., no?
Yeah, with Harriet Tubman.
Oh, I figured. Did she show up all in Canada? I thought she just stopped at like upstate New York or like the Pennsylvania area. No, I don't know my Black history like I should.
Yeah, that's terrible.
It's terrible.
You don't even their own culture.
Wow.
I'm kidding, not kidding.
I'm American.
Yeah, so was Harriet Tubman.
We'll look into that. But the thing is, I couldn't practice my profession. That's the downside. I would have to do something totally different.
You could still do it. You just had to be a consultant. Be like, this is my technique, and then you could teach that to the other chiropractors.
Do you have a chiropractor? Do you go to a chiropractor? Do you believe in chiropractic? That's a lot, but
I do a chiropractor stuff. I have like this weird part of my spine that's twisted, so every once in a while they crack it.
Okay. Next time you go, ask if they have American consultant jobs. Like if American defected without having a license, he's a licensed chiropractor in America. Mm-hmm. Colorado, and if I defected to Canada, what will my options be?
Yep.
You could probably teach.
I'll ask for you for sure.
I could probably go no, because I could. Well, I could probably teach classes, but I couldn't teach adjusting classes. And so I could probably teach. But I don't know.
I think you could probably take the test too. Like, I mean, it may only be once a year, but I used to do standardized patient stuff. So some of the tests, I mean, they're not that hard. I remember doing the chiropractor one.
The testing it's more frequent, but to get into the school, there's only one day a year that you can get into the school. So if you miss it this year, you gotta wait until. That's why a lot of them come to America.
Gotcha.
They have four. Some have 4 terms. Some have 3 terms a year. So, but they only have one entry or one window to get in Canada. I haven't looked and I haven't verified this. This is what I was told by.
This is for the chiropractor.
But she was a Black Canadian, for the record.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Good.
So they do have it up there.
They do have them. At least one, we know.
At least one, yeah.
No, 2, because Drake.
But Drake's here now.
Yeah, but he's still Canadian. Right?
Oh, no. He lives in Toronto.
Light skin.
He just visits the U.S.
He's Canada light.
Canada light.
But up there, he's just called Canadian, right? So I'm curious. So I always joke around, like if I was born in France, I'd just be French. So are Black people and minorities that are born in Canada, are they just Canadian, or are they African Canadian, or are they?
Normally they're just Canadian. Like, I guess if somebody wanted to like because we got so many cultures, people are really proud of where they come from. So like we have like Caribana, which I don't know if you guys are there because I don't see you anymore.
Steve only has one job and he's fucking it up.
Yeah.
It's probably my internet.
No, we use DSLR to have a higher picture quality. And so it shuts off every 30 minutes unless Steve does what he's supposed to, and he just doesn't.
I had it a couple of times there.
That's how white people are in America. He'll sacrifice the entire show to make me and Jenny look bad.
Yeah.
Like right now, he's got the focus thing on my face and doesn't even care.
Yeah, I don't get it.
I just realized we've been talking to you for like 50 minutes, so if you want to go, you can just disconnect.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how late it was. I was like, we've been talking for quite a while.
Yeah.
No, I will go soon because it's like later here in Canada than it is in Colorado. Eastern time. So I don't know exactly what time. It's probably like 11-ish.
Yeah, it's 8 here.
It's not even 11. It's not even 11. Yeah. But thank you for chilling with me tonight, guys, and having me visit. It was awesome meeting you.
Yeah, nice meeting you.
So look for us, well, me at least, around November if things don't go the way they should.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll be driving.
Yeah.
There you go. And we're rooting for you guys as a country up here in Canada. Just so you know.
Mail in your vote.
Please mail in your vote. Send it to Canada. We'll mail it in for you.
Yeah.
All right.
That we just did that to make sure. Cause it's just coming from Canada. What could it be? And you open up, shit, they got us.
They got us.
Fucking Drake.
On that note, thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Peace out. That's crazy.
Thoughts?
Canada's fucking awesome. I'm trying to go.
I had no idea their population was so sparse.
I only know like for like maybe I can't remember why I looked it up, but I've known for like 6 months or something like that. Like, are you kidding me? So I looked at there's more people in California.
It just sounds like one of those things you hear but aren't actually true.
Right, because it doesn't make sense. Because you look at it on the landmass, it's huge.
Yeah.
And even though it may not be as populous because of the mountains, but at the same time, there's still space.
Yeah, it's wide open space.
But everybody's condensed in like Toronto, like the bigger, like Montreal, Toronto, stuff like that. But the fact they made up a program so that their people would have money because most of the country didn't qualify.
Yeah, I heard a lot of countries, like, European style countries are doing stuff like that, like handing out a lot of money. Australia, the UK, Canada, all these places are giving out a lot of money.
Yeah, that was for 6 months, guaranteed $2,000 a month.
That's nice.
Like, come on.
Yeah, like I don't get it. Like,
I want to be taken care of.
America will pass like $600 billion for a military jet, and but they will fucking fight tooth and nail to avoid giving $1,200 to the American people for a year.
Yeah,
unemployment went from 600 to 200 weekly. So,
and that's like you went from. It almost seems like when you look at the rest of the world, it's like, hey, we're gonna go ahead and take over people. But America needs to continue that facade that we are in debt. So like, yeah, this is why we pay higher taxes because the government's in debt and because of the whole national deficit and all that stuff. Who the fuck do we owe?
America needs to start taxing the fucking rich. They need to tax the rich. The rich need to pay, proportionate to what they own,
Wasn't it like like Bezos could give everybody in the country $1 million and still be a billionaire or some shit like that? I could be making that up, but he's so wealthy that it's impossible for him to go broke.
I did the math, and I found out you could earn like $11,000 a day every day for like $200 a year, and you still wouldn't have not even $1 billion.
That's sad. And he makes like $1 million a day or something like that.
Yeah,
wow.
It's unnecessary. He could be paying, just like a 20% tax. You know how much money that is? And
still be the richest man.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing. Like, yeah, 20% of he's worth like $200 billion right now. $200 billion.
So that'd be $40 billion.
Yeah, and he's still got 160 just chilling.
Mm-hmm.
And he already went through a divorce, so he lost like he gave her like 50
That's
billion.
right. Yeah.
What a lucky woman.
Yeah, and he's back up to 200.
Oh man, trust me. If I was married to a billionaire, I'd be waiting for him to fuck up.
Yes. Oh yeah, he's got to be a douchebag. But yeah, get your money and run.
Yeah, like there's just so many. Rich people don't pay their share. The top 1%, controlling 99% of the income or the cash. That's just ridiculous.
And what's funny, and they'll give it to charity, but we all know they give it to charity for tax breaks.
Yep.
At what point do you think when is enough? And I think that's the biggest part of Trump's problem because he wants to be the richest man, though. That's why we haven't never seen his taxes. One, because I don't think he's a billionaire.
Stupid.
I don't think he's a billionaire, not liquid, maybe on paper because of assets and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But that's also spread throughout his entire family. I don't even think he's even close to the Waltons.
Yeah, Trump, all he has is his real estate shit.
That's it, yeah. Everything else has kind of failed and crashed and burned. He's bankrupt 9 times.
Yeah, he's declared bankruptcy a lot.
Yeah, and there's a guy that's running our country, and he's trying to bankrupt. He's about to run into the ground.
You don't become the king of New York real estate without learning some, unsavory business practices either.
Well, have you seen there was a documentary that came out and how he did one of that is now the Trump Tower, I believe. And it required 3 people, himself and then 2 other, he needed the money from one person and the agreement from another person. Mm-hmm. So he went to one person and said, yeah, this person's already given me the money, so we're good to go on that. Went to the bank and said, yeah, this person's already in, I just need the money. And finagled that, and then so he had suckered them both in and agreed, and then that's how he got what is now Trump Tower or something like that. I could be lying on the property, but
I heard something like that.
That's pretty much how he got one of his property, because he lied to both sides and convinced them both that both were already in, and indeed nobody was in. And once he had it secured, then he went to the other person with his very small $1 million loan from his father. So he loves to tell that story. I said, this is a small loan of $1 million. That's how I started my empire. Like, no, the Trump organization was already lucrative. He didn't work for any of it. It was already there. And instead, his great grandfather did all the legwork. Like, he was selling dead horses to the miners and like to the Yukon and all that stuff when during the gold rush. Because they tried to get their horses up in the mountains and they would end up dying. And so he would just go and collect the horses and then sell them like burgers and
nice.
Steak. They were frozen, so the meat was bad, but he would dig them up and then he had a restaurant and then sold it to him. And there's something that he owned the building and then he needed to move the building. And so he took it apart and floated up the river and then put it back together or something like that. It's an amazing documentary. Like, his great grandfather was the shit. And it's sad that his great grandfather put in all the work so that his family would be okay to turn out to be Donald.
It's amazing that he thinks his hair looks good.
And that he thinks orange is
his skin
is attractive.
How much spray tan does he need?
Like, he's fooling people.
I mean, he's just, because the people around him want to stay where they are. So that whenever he asks, does it look good? Yeah, it looks great. You look tan.
Including his wife.
You look young.
Like the Emperor's New Clothes out there. Like, oh my God, that's fantastic. Let's go, buddy.
Yeah, exactly. And so, he's probably like, I look fucking great.
Well, what's sad is Barron's the youngest, and he's going to inherit most of this. But if Trump loses, he's lost all power. Because right now, he was a powerful guy as far as you wanted to be around him.
Mm-hmm.
And so you kissed ass to do whatever to get on Epstein's island or whatever that you wanted to do and all that stuff. He had that. He rubbed elbows with the top 1%.
Oh yeah.
Became president, made a bunch of them rich. But you weren't rich because of your rich, wealthy, elbow rubbing friends. You were rich because people bought your product because they wanted to be like you.
Mm-hmm.
You were rich because so and so wanted to wear a Donald Trump tie with his new suit to his job interview. That type of thing. If you look like 80s, 90s rap, everybody talked about Trump and how he was this. That's falling away. If he no longer becomes president, that facade is gone. Because now you're just a douchebag that he used to be president.
Yeah.
And you have no threat against me now. Because now he has threats. He can say, well, if you don't do this, I'm going to do this. That's going to go. He has ultimate power now, essentially.
Yeah.
We have checks and balances for the most part, but his word is stronger than it used to be. As soon as that goes away, and all the ones that are kissing his ass now to stay in power, there's like, well, just in case he becomes president again, I'm gonna go ahead and show up at the RNC and I'm gonna back him and we're not gonna impeach him. We're not gonna do all that stuff. We know he did it, but just in case, when that goes away, he loses that power. They're all gonna turn their back on him.
Yeah,
and he's gonna be nobody.
Yeah, if I were to see somebody and notice like they were wearing like Trump branded clothing or something like that, I would just be like, oh, that is so tacky. Because now if you wear anything that says Trump, you're making a political statement.
Right. And moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
So if he's no longer president, all those people that were out there, no, I never voted for Trump. I don't know what you're talking about. That's what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, we're in the masses because you're hanging out with people that look like you, the people that sound like you, and people that think like you. Those people weren't around in 2015.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't until he started to run for president, all these people started coming out of the woodwork. What the fuck? I didn't know my friends were this damn racist.
Right.
And all of a sudden now you are. And now once it's all over with, now you're exposed as who you are. And now you're just, oh shit. And you're going to creep back into your little cave and we'll only see you at the county fair.
I don't understand, like, when Trump was like booming in 2016, like, I don't understand, like, why did people all of a sudden find it so cool to be conservative all of a sudden? It's just like, it's so bizarre because conservatism, benefits primarily just, the wealthy people.
Yeah. Again,
wealthy white people.
It falls into I want to be like Trump. So if I run around a MAGA hat, people think I'm cool like Trump. It's just a status thing. It's no different than Paris Hilton being famous for no reason.
Yeah.
She's only famous because her parents own the empire.
Right.
Other than that, she has nothing. She is nobody.
Mm-hmm.
And so like, well, if I'm associated with that, then that makes me cool too. So I'm cool by association because I wear this red hat and I got white privilege on top of that. So now I got white privilege squared. Because Trump is in power, and he said there's good people on both sides. So that means being racist is okay. So then Now it's more it's like you look at. There's always been homosexuals, but now society embraces homosexuality a little bit more. So now they're coming out. And that's like, for lack of a better term, they're coming out of woodwork. They're more out in the open because it's more acceptable.
Mm-hmm.
And now that racism is more acceptable because the person that's in power will never denounce it, they start coming out and they're being more free and open about it.
Yeah,
you have a 17-year-old kid walking down a fucking street with a assault rifle hanging around his neck.
What were his fucking parents thinking? First of all, who's buying their goddamn 17-year-old an AR? Hey, here, son, let's go to the gun store. We'll get you an AR-15. What caliber do you want?
Yeah.
And
Wisconsin's close to Iowa. My mom wouldn't let me go out of the house with a pocket knife, let alone go all the way to fucking Wisconsin with a pocket knife.
Yeah, she drove his ass there.
Yeah.
It's like, what do you think your son's going to do with a loaded assault rifle, prowling the fucking streets? He's going there because he wants to start some shit.
Yeah, why would you?
Otherwise, don't bring the fucking gun. Yeah. And you've got to be like cognizant of this, right?
You show up at the basketball court with basketball shoes and a basketball. I'm assuming you're here to play basketball. So, like, you show up in the middle of the night wearing fucking blue rubber gloves and an AK-47 or an assault rifle. I'm assuming you're here to what? Why are you wearing gloves and no mask? You give zero shit. You want to be known. You want people to know who you are because you're cool, but you're also wearing gloves just in case you touch something.
Yeah, the gloves were to be cool too.
But they weren't tactical gloves. They were just regular fucking gloves you got at Walgreens.
Yeah, probably last minute decision there.
Or his mom maybe had some hanging out in the glove box. But yeah, that made no sense. But right, yeah, let's say he went up there. Let's say he didn't kill anybody. He didn't do anything. Nothing. Why was he doing it in the first place? That's where people just fail to.
Exactly, because he wanted to go there because he wanted to protect the businesses in that area or something. Bullshit. This kid he saw this as an opportunity. Finally, something is coming my way where I can get in on the action. Just one of those guys who wants to get in and fuck something up, and this is his opportunity.
Oh yeah. Well, you look at so is there any product that you can think of that you love so much that you're willing to put your life on the line for it?
Oh,
because that's essentially what he's saying. Like, I'm gonna go. I love whatever. Where was it? A gas station, wasn't it?
I don't know.
So I love unleaded so much that I'm gonna go up to Kenosha, Wisconsin, and protect unleaded gas. Like, it's not like you had stock in Exxon, and so you're going through to protect the Exxon station, or you had stock in like Racetrack or whatever. I don't even know what do they have. Stinker. That's what they have those here. Like,
I'm guessing it was probably more subconsciously. This is my opportunity to stop the black people from taking over
in Kenosha, Wisconsin, because it's going to happen of all places.
Well, but like that's the thing. Like, us versus them, we're going to win. White pride worldwide.
Yeah, that's the mentality, 100%. Like that, but that's what he's thinking. And what's funny is the guy he shot and the guy that lost his arm, that guy had a gun, but that guy didn't want to shoot you. He's want to figure out why he had a gun in his hand when you shot him. He's want to figure out why you shot the other guy.
What's amazing was he killed 3 people, shot 2 people, and then ripped the guy's arm off or whatever. The guy lost his arm.
Yeah.
But he was able to just drive home.
Yeah.
Like, how does that work?
Well, they said while I was watching, right before you guys came and asked, what are you doing? I was watching the Ben Shapiro show, and he was talking about it. And so, not that I don't watch Ben Shapiro, I'm not endorsing Ben Shapiro, he's a douchebag. I just happened to run across a clip, and I was looking at other things. And he showed a video of, I guess, when it was over, towards the end, he walked up to police. And I didn't see the context of the video. I just saw him walking towards police, and they were just driving around him. He's walking towards police with his hands up. And it's saying that he was trying to turn himself in is what he was trying to say, that what they were implying. They also said that as soon as he shot the first dude, that he called 911. But then he started to get attacked. And that's where the mob went after him. That's when he ended up shooting the other 2 people.
Well, yeah, because I guess the first guy he killed was no threat, right? It was just holding a bag of groceries or something.
Yeah, the clear baggie. Yeah, like he has his belongings, but it was in a clear bag to let people know that I'm not a threat.
Yeah,
he basically had his Walmart purse.
And then, God, when you just start killing people like that, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, there was no need. He was just looking at it for an excuse to kill somebody.
Yeah, I was afraid of that guy's baggie, so I shot him. But it shows the weakness of even like law enforcement officers. well, I have a gun. I'm afraid, so that gun becomes my power. So now I gotta inflict my power on you. Versus like, hey, don't. I'm gonna stand up and like it's a weird the mentality of because it's like if you have a gun, you're going to use it. It's a blanket.
That and like police were watching this happen.
Yeah,
and no one thought to like stop it. They were just like, let it play out. Can't get too many of them.
Right.
But it's just bizarre, and the people who tried to stop him, it's like no one wanted him there. No one was like, we need armed protection.
17-year-olds.
Yeah.
We need one more extra guy from, hey, you know anybody in Illinois that can drive up?
It's just, I think his mother is like totally lacking any type of sense. Just, driving him how many hours away to this.
Yeah, I don't know how far it was, but
it was several hours.
You still cross state lines.
Yeah, you crossed state lines. It was a several-hour drive, and it was because you knew your son was going to partake in a possibly deadly conflict, which is why he's bringing his goddamn gun.
Right.
And you're okay with that. You're okay if he goes and kills somebody.
Yeah, and then you took him home. So where was she at the whole entire time waiting for him? Like,
yeah, she just like parked on the street in the car, like, oh no,
crochet.
Just wait for him.
Yeah. I'm just gonna sit here and knit, baby. We're good. I'm listening to talk radio.
Yeah, I'm gonna listen to the Bill O'Reilly show.
Where you go hunt down some humans. And that's funny. He shot 3 white people.
Yeah, like that's what happened in Charlottesville. That guy who drove his car into a crowd of white people because he wanted to kill the minority. He ended up killing a white woman. And it's like, what is going through these people's minds? It's baffling.
Mainly, this will sound weird. He killed 3 white, or he shot 2 white people, killed 2 white people, and injured 1 white guy for the same reason there's not realistic horror films made by black people. Because as soon as that first gunshot went off, black people said, "Fuck it, I'm out."
Yeah, white
people, and not to sound like stereotypical because of white privilege, like, oh, they'll stop and say, "What's going on here, buddy?" Hey, dude, you ran down, and I it sucks that you did, but you ran after a guy with an assault rifle that already shot 1 person with your skateboard.
Yes, I saw. It's like, yeah, that wasn't a smart decision either.
That's the epitome of bad decisions.
Yeah, skateboard versus AR, you're going down.
Yeah, and he had it strapped to his chest, so it's not like he was going to drop it.
Yeah, that was
because most of the mob stayed away, and then as soon as you hit him, he went to the ground. It didn't occur to you to maybe step on the rifle. You knocked him to the ground, but you didn't secure the weapon. The whole point of that, why would you hit him with a skateboard? Because he had a gun. You were trying to get the gun out of the hand and knock him to the ground, but as soon as he was on the ground, you didn't just lay on him or tackle him or do whatever. You didn't think that through.
Yeah, if you're going to attack somebody with a fucking gun, you might want to get a couple other people like in on your plan. Like, hey, let's get him. I'm going to hit him with my skateboard. You grab the gun. Let's do this.
Yeah, talk it out. Don't
be Superman.
Don't assume that the white guy standing behind you that's saying the same things you are has your back when this goes down.
Yeah,
because even the guy who had a pistol didn't even shoot him. He lost it. He's gonna lose. You see the picture, like it blew his fucking elbow out. He's gonna lose that arm. But had a pistol, and you got shot with a pistol in your hand. That's like getting voted off Survivor with the idol.
Well, I think it would be really tough to shoot somebody. Even though they're shooting people and it's wrong, it's like to talk yourself into, I'm not in danger right now, but everybody else is. I'm going to shoot him. It'd be really tough to convince yourself to do that.
Yeah, I've never been in that situation to know like how I'm going to react. But you brought the gun. Why did you bring the gun?
Yeah, if you weren't going to use it.
The whole point was just in case something goes down, I'm going to have it with me. Something went down, you fucking lost your arm because you hesitated while a skateboard guy.
Yeah, a lot of good that fucking gun did you.
Yeah, the skateboard guy's one that got him shot because as soon as he got onto the ground, he came up and just started squeezing the trigger.
Yeah. Oh my, that kid. He's going to do some time. I wouldn't be surprised if he got off though, like with some like minor.
Well, and I hate to back Ben Shapiro's argument, but he said he will be charged with the gun charge because he did cross state lines illegally, and he wasn't old enough to have the weapon. So he's going to go down for the weapons charge. And I think what they'll do is like you
got to be fucking 21 to have an assault rifle.
Yeah, and an open carry. But the powers that be will we got to get him with something. Yeah, I was hitting with the gun charge and crossing state lines and blah blah as a minor, and it will leave that on his minor record, and so it'll go away.
Yeah, he's 17. That's going to follow him. That's going to go on his adult record. Because a lot of places at 17, they'll charge you as an adult.
Yeah, but we're living in different times.
Yeah.
You had a whole entire police force roll up in Breonna Taylor's house and gun her down. They weren't even supposed to be in the house, and not one person's locked up on that. We don't live in the times where when you did something, you went to jail for that. Because you're going to have Trump is going to be talking to those people in their ear. And be like, hey, or his people are going to talk to their people and like, hey, we know he did this. What's the worst? What's the least we can get away with, and pacify both sides.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But one, you need to take him off the streets. If he goes back into the streets, he will be dead within the year.
Oh, yeah. I wonder if he made bail or if he's sitting in county right now.
His mom probably went and paid for his bail.
Well, maybe. I don't know. Because I could see him getting a really high bail.
When he was arrested, as far as I know, he's still locked up. I don't know. I stopped watching the news. I watched the RNC. That's one thing I watched yesterday was I wanted to watch. I caught part of the son with his high ass, part of the daughter, and then all of Trump. Oh, part of Melania stuff too. Just hit and miss. But I watched the entire Trump one. I want to see what he really had to say because he's hit and miss. Like I remember when his whole campaign, like man, he's lost his fucking mind. Then his acceptance speech, I'm like, holy shit, I'd have voted for that guy.
He's got good speechwriters.
Oh, yeah. And if he stays on this fucking script, because we know who he is. He's a familiar dude. Like the name you know, like the Eddie Murphy show when he ran for Congress, like the name you know. And like, you know who Trump is. I've watched The Apprentice and he's on Howard Stern. So I think he's hilarious because of this. He runs his mouth and the stuff that says on Howard Stern. So I appreciated the guy that he was. He was a no bullshit guy. So I get that. You don't have to sell that to us anymore. Now I want to see the political guy on the side. And he's like, yeah, we want to see what it'd be like to have a non-politician. Because no matter what administration is, there's always something you're not going to like.
Mm-hmm.
There was things that went on during the Obama era that I didn't necessarily agree with. But
like
it's not my... What's that?
Like what? I'm just curious.
I can't think of anything. I'm just... but I'm just... I really didn't get... I mean, I'm sure there was. There would have been. If I really don't get into politics and I hate being labeled as liberal or whatever. I'm registered to vote as an independent. I really don't vote in primaries. I only voted once, actually. Well, that was for Obama because I knew he was going to get reelected, so I didn't vote the second time. And then I voted for Gary Johnson last time around.
Really?
Because I knew my vote was, again, I got caught up in the less of the two. You have three people. I really couldn't vote for Hillary. I really couldn't vote for Trump and Gary Johnson. And plus, I was absentee voting from Oklahoma. So my vote didn't matter in Oklahoma. Trump was winning Oklahoma.
Yeah, that's true.
But then living here in Colorado, I'm not registered because if you're a registered voter in Colorado, they put your phone number, your address, and all that stuff for public people to find. So right now we could go online and put in your grandmother's name and get her address and her phone number on her voter, whatever was on her voter registration. And since she's lived in that house for fucking ever, we probably had the same phone number. Did she have a landline?
Yeah, I had that fucking goddamn landline for 30 years.
Yeah, so her number and her address is public because she's a registered voter.
Yeah. And
that's the reason I'm not registered to vote in Colorado.
I thought if you got your driver's license, it automatically registered you to vote.
Yeah. It may be. I don't know. I haven't went down.
Don't you have to register to vote?
Yeah.
Are you going to vote this year?
I don't know. I remember because like I said, they have to put my information out there publicly. And now that I'm on a podcast running my mouth and talking shit, I don't even know where I live. Now that I told people that if I do register to vote in the state, they'll come find me.
Oh, what if you register to vote and just don't put your correct address on there?
That's a voter fraud.
Yeah, I was going to say, you could get in trouble for that.
White privilege over here. Like, why don't you just lie to the system? That's what I do.
That's what I would have. I mean, if I was concerned about it, that's what I would do.
Yeah. Like, welcome. What's the worst they could do? Lock you up? You're already black.
I guess. I don't know. It's tough to think in terms of like, what would I do if I was a black guy? Would I, how much differently would I think? I don't know.
A lot different.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Because I know sometimes like I'll see like a black guy at a grocery store, and I'll just be like, huh. And I'd be like, I think of what it would be like to be him in that grocery store. I'd be like, what if I was a white guy and the only white guy in an entire Walmart full of black people? How I would feel. like, because that's what the way it was. There's like 95% white people, a couple black people here and there. It's like, how would it feel to have that flip, like be surrounded by black people, like, because then you feel alone. And then you always got to wonder, like, did something go wrong because you didn't like me because of my skin color, or is it because of the situation?
Yeah, we're on the same page. Yeah, that's a horrible thought, right? You can't even comprehend that. That's my everyday life.
Yeah. That's like the thought in your head.
As soon as I leave
I'm Asian.
As soon as I leave the house.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I could, like where you guys live, I'd be terrified living in the neighborhood. I ain't like coming to visit at night.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. I wouldn't visit.
That's why we don't hang out.
I mean, I try to put myself in that, position mentally, when I can, just so I can be more, aware. But it's tough. And because it would suck having to grow up like that, like always wondering, like, did I not get the job because I wasn't qualified or because of, I'm black? Always wondering.
Oh yeah, the greatest thing that my parents ever could have done was I'm Jeremy Chatter.
Yeah, not like
on paper. It could be Mexican. I don't know. Let's give him a call and have a phone interview.
Not like Rashid.
And then I sound like this on the phone. Like, oh man.
Oh my gosh, what is he?
He's fucking articulate. Jeremy Chatter. He's from Iowa. There can't be black people in Iowa. If there are, they sure as hell couldn't afford to go to Colorado. He's hired. Because on paper, I'm fucking awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, and then, but I can sell myself. I got charisma, like, for lack of a, like.
Is affirmative action still a thing?
I don't think so. I know people are cracking down on, like, certain schools and stuff. But other than that, like Harvard, I think it was Harvard or Yale. One of them got some shit for not accepting as many white applications all of a sudden. Like, so I don't know. I don't.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I browse headlines from time to time, and I think something like that popped up, but I was gonna go. I did get an offer to like a partial scholarship to Columbia, and I was gonna go there,
like the NAACP or something like that.
No, it was through because of Pi Theta Kappa.
Okay.
It's Orange Society and Community College, and I was like, I wanted to go just because Obama had went to Columbia, but that I would have to go clear across the country, and that didn't line up with what I wanted to do. But looking back, I should not have been a chiropractor. I just went and got a raggedy ass degree from Columbia and wrote my own ticket. But no, here I am.
Yeah.
Hanging out with you and Jenny.
Here you are.
Do you ever sign up for like benefits through the NAACP? Do they have programs and stuff?
I don't know. I don't look. Again, I don't. It's, and I hate because this is where I kind of side with what's the black Supreme Court justice?
I have no idea.
I can't think of his name right now. Anyway, he was like that. Affirmative action was one of the worst things that could happen to black people because then they rely on that. But I was raised to just be a good person, do the best you can, but also pay attention to how the world works and how you're viewed, and just stay in your own lane, and you're going to be okay. But I also had to get rid of the people that I hung out with that were just making bad choices, and I had to disconnect a lot of things. And it wasn't necessarily, and you realize it was not necessarily me that's holding myself back, but the people that are around me I'm allowing them to hold me back based off my actions by doing whatever they're doing and stuff like that. And so once I detached, camera went off.
Damn it.
But a lot of my friends that I would hang out with are pretty much doing the same thing they were doing when we were doing it back then. And so I got a really good friend that's been in and out of prison countless times, and I've offered, like, when I first came out here, I was like, man, come on. He's like, no, I'm back to prison like a month after we had our conversation. Yeah. And I'm like, you don't want help. And that's the thing is you can bring a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. And I think that, and then Obama popped in. I was like, let me go ahead and knock this chip off my shoulder, because he went to Harvard and Columbia. Like, if he can do that to become president, I could at least go to a community college and see what happens. And kind of here I am. So but it doesn't go away. I'm still black, no matter what. Like, I can act a certain way, I can talk a certain way, I can have a certain job, I can live in a certain area, but that when I walk out onto the streets, I'm still black in America. And I think that's what people don't understand. When they're like, you can be anything you want to be. I sure can, but I gotta also accept the consequences of those actions. So, and like even like Trump getting upset, like, oh, the NBA getting all upset. Yeah, but they're still black dudes when they're not on the court. When they're in their car driving down the street, LeBron James is still a nigger in whatever car he's driving.
Okay.
To some people.
Mm-hmm.
That's I don't think people understand. And then all of a sudden you pull him after to get out of the car, and the big old 6'10" guy gets out of the car, and he's by 250 pounds, 260 pounds. You're immediately intimidated.
Yeah.
You're not going to stop and say, oh, hey, I'm LeBron James. And in the dark, you're just going to fire and squeeze the trigger.
Yeah, and then you're going to be the guy who fucking killed LeBron James.
Right, yeah. You don't want to be that dude. But that's the reason, man, what was dude's name? The black guy on OJ's trial. Oh, my God.
Johnny Cochran.
Johnny, yeah. So he was like an assistant DA in LA County. Drove a Rolls Royce, lived in a well-to-do neighborhood, got pulled over in his Rolls Royce, and was accosted by the police like, this isn't your car, and they had to run all this, and he had to prove that it was his car and all this stuff, and he was the DA, or the assistant DA at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And that was when he's like, you know what, fuck this. I'm switching over to defense attorney, and became one of the best defense attorneys in the world. Only because he got pulled over and treated like shit. But he worked for LA County. He had a law degree. Could afford a Rolls Royce. Could afford a Rolls Royce in the neighborhood that he was pulled over in. Still didn't matter because he was still black. That's what people don't understand. Like,
yeah.
I don't walk around in my neighborhood at night because I know that the county sheriff just parked right over by this park. And I know they're always out there. So I'm not going to walk around my neighborhood at night.
Yeah.
I don't feel safe, but because you may not feel safe. Not you. But I'm just saying, by the people in my neighborhood, all of a sudden, I don't feel safe. I was walking around the park. I used to walk around all the time. Never saw this black guy. All of a sudden, it's 2 o'clock at night. There's a black guy out there walking around.
Yeah.
But you know, my black ass is getting shot a block from my neighborhood.
Yeah. Yeah.
Suspicious activity.
Everybody.
That's it. And they come here gung ho. I'm fucked.
Yeah. Everybody sees a white guy in a park. They think, yeah, she's doing some late night walking.
Or maybe he's homeless, made some bad decisions, but he's not. He's harmless.
Yeah. They see a black guy and they're just automatically suspicious.
Like, what the fuck is he doing in this neighborhood?
He is up to something.
Bro, I pulled over. I was up here on by Quincy and Sims, and I saw a black guy get out of it was a smaller SUV pulling a U-Haul trailer, and a black guy got out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I drove past, and I was in my clinic van, and I was like, oh, this is not gonna happen. And he put his four-way flash on, like, shit, he must have broke down. And so I went, I'm like, bro, whatever it is. He's like, no, his wife was in the car. He's like, no, we're just delivering for Uber. I said, okay, but I'm just letting you know now, do not stop on this road for any length of time. I was making sure you were safe because I know the cops run up and down this road, and I don't want to be that guy that found out later on that I didn't stop and help another black guy out, and he got shot because he was in the wrong neighborhood.
Yeah.
I don't see black people in my neighborhood other than myself, and I'm looking.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, but my neighbors, I can't stand my neighbors to the left over here.
Mm-hmm.
They're douchebags, but I don't want no harm to come to them. But they know who I am. They have my phone number in case some shit goes down. Neighbor across the street has always got my back. He said, like, when I hit the gas pump thing and cracked the fiberglass, he like called me the next morning. Hey, I think someone ran into your vehicle or something like that, and he was looking out for me.
Nice.
So those are the kind of relationships that I want to have with the people that can see me, just in case some shit goes down. I got to flee to my house. They can come out and say, no, he lives here. Like that's the way I have to think. You take that for granted. You'll walk around your neighborhood and don't think nothing of it.
Yeah. Just it's lucky. I'm lucky I was born white.
Yeah. And you had no choice in that.
It's a lottery.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Your mom's like, I'm not going to swallow this one.
I don't know if it's the lottery.
Yeah. I mean, but no better place to be a white man right now is America. Well, actually, it would have been a better time. I think the pinnacle of like the white man's dominance was like probably in the 70s, 80s.
Think so?
Well, like,
no, I had to go later than that because they took a lot of shit after Vietnam. So I had to go into the early 80s into the MTV era.
Maybe the early 60s. I mean,
maybe.
Yeah, the white men had more, power and more rights and privileges than anyone else. Like everybody else was not getting the same things they were getting.
Oh yeah.
Like women were not getting the same things they were getting.
I went to work. I came home. Dinner was on the table.
Yep.
Kids were taken care of. Dishes were done. I didn't get my dick wet tonight. I'm gonna get up and do it again tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
I don't worry about getting shot by the police. Probably not even gonna get pulled over because I know the officer lives in my neighborhood.
Yeah. Good old boys.
Yeah, the only thing I really got to worry about in my life is that my wife's fucking the mailman or the milkman.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's the only real threat that's really going on in your neighborhood.
Yeah, and you're
black people know better. They know their place.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, back then, oh God, I can't imagine what it would have been like to be black in the 60s.
Ugh.
It would have been a nightmare. It would have been a fucking nightmare. You know those videos you see of like people that like I don't know where it was, but they were getting hosed down with like fucking fire hoses and shit. And
yeah.
It's like, man.
Yeah, bit by dogs and sprayed with water hoses, and it wasn't shit you could do about it.
Nope.
You just I'm just gonna get wet and bit.
Yeah.
But if I do anything else, they're gonna beat me half to death.
Yeah.
There's no cameras back then.
Club you to death. Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing that we even have footage of it now.
Right. Well, it was, look what we did. Because then it was like, look what we did to the black people.
Yeah, they were like, yeah, look at us put these motherfuckers down. Yeah.
Fucking around won't be around. Yeah, this is know your place. I was watching, it was a documentary or something. I don't remember what it was, but it talked about how the Asian community, they were originally treated that way. And then they realized that, whoa, we're going to try to remain neutral, but we're going to be against the black community just so you leave us the fuck alone. I had to dig that up. Yeah, I was really. I thought when I was watching, it was just a blip in the documentary. I'm like, holy shit! I never even looked at it like that. Because when the Asians came to America, they were treated the same way,
right?
Because you had Pearl Harbor and all that stuff, and you were like, it wasn't. We knew it was the Japanese, but then they didn't give a fuck if you were not white or black. You were obviously you were just Asian in general. Yeah, just like a blanket term, and so everybody kind of took shit. And then when they would come in, they're like, well, we'll cater to the black people because we like their money, but at the same time, we're gonna kiss the white man's ass. So they'll leave us alone and bypass us and go to them.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I always joked about if we don't stand up for the black people, who's next? Once they take care of us, who's next? And it's going to be like you watch like Survivor. Like that's the best part of Survivor. You'll take away the ones you deem that are not like the outsiders. And then somebody has to be at the bottom.
Mm-hmm. And
then they convince the world that white trash, even though you're white trash, you're still better than the richest black man.
You think so?
You got a dude that drove all the way up to Kenosha, Wisconsin at 17 to shoot people because they were helping out because no one hates white supremacists hate white people who like black people more than they hate black people because you're a traitor.
Yeah, I can see that.
He's just a monkey, but you're a traitor. So it's a weird.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess you're making a conscious decision too.
Right. He can't help being stupid, but you.
Yeah.
But you.
Yeah. You can't hate a monkey for liking bananas, but I can hate you for liking the monkey.
That's crazy. I can't believe that there's still such like, with the science that's out there and like the proof that, no race, no.
But here
nationality.
We go. But that's the thing. Is the people that are white supremacists don't necessarily believe in science.
Yeah,
in their mind, it's just our God-given right. Even though we weren't here first, but it's our God-given right. Even though everything in your mind, regardless whether you believe in creationism, whether you believe in evolution, whether you believe in the Big Bang, first person had to be black.
Right.
And that it needs to be taught like that at school. You start teaching shit like, yeah, the game will change.
Yeah. And then I think I watched something where they said, white skin killer had popped up like, at some point in history and all of a sudden became really popular. It first started as like a mutation, like an anomaly. Yeah. So
I'd like to see that person.
the first person who was born white, they were probably like, oh my motherfucking God, he's a god.
Yeah, probably. Let's raise him up. Like, have you seen there was a 10,000 BC and the guy, they kidnap his girl and he goes with his tiger to the pyramids.
Oh yeah, I've seen that dumb motherfucking
tall,
movie.
skinny white guy is like ruling shit, but it's like, yeah, and you gotta think all throughout history, like albinos were either worshipped or they were like killed and drained for their blood.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy.
Because they were considered like a
Have you ever met an albino black person?
Not completely albino, but I have that were like really light or had like vitiligo.
Yeah, I used to live across or next door to a couple who had an albino girl.
How was that?
She had blonde hair, like the African.
But she had black features, though, right? Oh,
yeah, it was just so weird.
Yeah,
because you don't see that very much. The wider nose.
Yeah, because they're clearly black.
Yeah,
but their skin isn't like. What are they doing?
And her hair is all
Yeah, that was
nappy.
Were you not friends with her?
Well, she was a lot younger than me. She was like in 6th grade, and I was in college. Huh. But I did talk to her every now and again. So
feed her. Yeah, we throw her some scraps every now and then because she's only in 6th grade.
Go comb that nappy hair.
Yeah, like she said, nappy.
Yeah, that's racist. You can't call a black person nappy.
I don't know. I get nappy hair too.
Last week you said colored, and this week is nappy. Oh, wow, you're the most racist out of all of us. I guess you have the right.
I grew up in the Midwest.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I guess you were brought here against your will, so you can complain.
Yeah.
True.
I'd rather be here than back there.
You don't miss the village life?
I don't miss the refugee camps.
How old were you when you came?
I was 3.
Okay.
I got here.
And what country did they come? Because you're Thai and Laos, right?
Yeah.
What country?
I was born in Thailand. Okay. My parents fled from Laos.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are they close? I've never looked.
They border each other.
Yeah, okay. They border each other.
I was gonna look that up too because I was gonna just out of curiosity.
Mm-hmm.
So do you still have? Is one parent Laos? One parent? Is it Laos or Laotian? I don't know. What's the correct terminology for the
Laos?
Okay.
Oh, I guess you could say Laotian.
Yeah. Laotian. So I said it wrong.
But that's kind of like a sophisticated way of saying Laos. Say Laos.
The bougie ones are I'm Laotian. So do you have relatives? Only because the white side is Bohemian. And it wasn't until I started to do the research and find why we always call it, why we're from Czechoslovakia. Why did my grandfather keep saying Bohemian? Because by the time I was in school, it was Czechoslovakia. Yeah. But when he came to America, it was the Kingdom of Bohemia. And to his dying day, he was Bohemian and never called himself anything else. Do you still have people that are call themselves Siamese? Is that
I've never heard of anyone calling themselves that.
Oh, I was curious.
Siamese?
Siam used to be Thailand.
Oh, okay.
Really?
Yeah. And so this guy. So anyway,
I thought at first it was.
I thought that was like a Tibetan thing.
So no, sorry. Okay, yeah. So Siam used to be Thailand, and so there's still people running around that are relatives. Like, no, I'm from Siam. I'm not fucking Thailand shit. Because you still have people that I'm Persian. I'm not Iraqi. I'm Persian. Like the Persian doesn't exist.
Yeah. Well, that sounds more suave than Iraqi.
Right. But it's like people that they hold on because it drove me nuts that my great grandfather, I'm Bohemian, and so he would call us bohonks because it's like, why would you
bohonks?
Bohonk, yeah, that was a term that was a derogatory term for.
Oh, okay.
Because in my part of
it doesn't sound good.
In my part of Iowa, there's a lot of Bohemians and Czechs in that region. Oh, okay. So they all kind of settled there. They settled from Cleveland all the way to the outskirts of Iowa into Nebraska. There's a bunch in Wisconsin and stuff like that, but there's a lot in Iowa, and it's like why would you stop in fucking Iowa?
Yeah,
land of opportunity. You could go anywhere, and I know you knew fucking New York and LA existed.
Yeah,
fuckers,
they got the best dirt.
That would be the only reason. Yeah, but the people are already there. So, but yeah, my grandfather, I guess, when I was in California, my grandfather had told me the story that he actually, I didn't know until I was already an adult, that him and his brother tried to move to California, went the unemployment line. It was around the corner, and he's like, fuck this, we're going back to Iowa. So I could have been born in LA, or in LA County. But my grandfather and his uncle, or his brother.
Think about how much different.
Right? I was right fucking there. Man.
Think about how much different you would be if you would have grown up in Los Angeles instead of that Iowa town.
Hands down, I would have been famous. I'd be a has-been by now.
Your ego is off the charts, man.
But it's one of those. And it's not that I have the ego, but I think it's the charisma. Because all throughout my life, people want to hang out with me, and I never understood why. What the fuck? I don't like you. Why are you I sit at home with my thumb in my ass. I don't do anything. I want to sit at home, play video games, and that's it. But people are just drawn to me. So I've had that my whole life. And so then I went to LA. Had I had a car instead of a motorcycle, I probably would have stayed and then I tried to get into more movies, but I didn't have a physical car to go around for movie parts.
Mm-hmm.
If it didn't fit in my back, like, you can't wear a suit. You can't ball up a suit in your backpack and then go to the film set and unroll it and wrinkle free. So I just didn't have the means.
It's crazy that you got to do your own wardrobe for
as
all
an
your
extra.
roles. Yeah.
As an extra. No, for the circle. That was the one. That was a really cool experience because the guy called me like 2 days before, like, "Hey, what's your shoe size and all that stuff for wardrobe? I'm so and so with wardrobe.
Mm-hmm.
Have a call sheet. It's in somewhere in my storage, but I have the full call sheet for the movie and all that stuff. And all I played was I was already dead when the movie like starts, and so it was. What we go? I think I have it on my computer.
Yeah, I know. You sit there in that position, like,
yeah. Oh, it sucked the next day because the day before we were in I did a music video, and we had to carry a guy down the hall.
yeah,
And so like, we're gonna do this. Let's do this right. And we're wearing like gas masks and like hazmat suits, and then the lead singer's kicking and screaming. It's like, bro, we're just gonna drag you. And so, however you do it the first time, you've got to do it until that scene is done. So the hall is only so long, but we shot it so in the magic of cinema, they took that like our hallway down here, made it seem like it was forever long. We were dragging him for fucking miles. And so we drag him halfway, start again, keep doing it. Next cut of the song, so like he's singing like the whole verse down the hall, but it's like 3 or 4 cuts put together, and we're dragging. He's kicking, and he's like kicking and screaming. So the next day, I woke up in the morning, and my whole right side hurt like a bitch because I'd been dragging him down this hall, like all the way down, side, back, arm.
Wow.
So then we get on the set of Circle. I'm like, all right, get your position. We're gonna tie you up because I was tied with things that the psychopath had tied us up and. With stuff they could have. So I was tied up like extension cords and like Walmart bags. And since I was killed first, I had the most blood because the blood ran down. So now my shoes are stuck to the floor because the blood's like the corn syrup.
yeah.
And so the shoes that I wear, so it was easy to get back in the same position with my feet because my shoes were stuck to the floor. I just slide out and go to lunch or whatever because we have flip flops. And so whatever position you were in on that first take, that is the position you had to keep the entire day. And then you find out like you're not only in the opening murder scene, but you're also in the crime scene. So we shot for an entire day. Half of the day was the murder scene. The other half of the day was the crime scene. So you had to sit there like, just, and you got to know where the camera is because you got to hold your breath if the camera's on you because you can't be seeing I'm dead, so I can't be all. You're there and like, the camera's coming and he's like
breathing.
And you feel it and you're just like there, like, fuck, gotta breathe, I can't. So you're there and you're stuck in that position, you can't move. And some scenes would go on. All right. And so it's recently like instead of like cut and try again.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I fucked up. Let's start from the top. And you're there the whole like Jesus Christ, dude. Like I'm fucking cramping and all stuff. And you're nobody.
Oh man,
I got paid $75 for that. And I got paid him $175 the day. It was a 3-day shoot for the music video, and that was cool.
Yeah, people don't realize what goes into acting. The dedication because you got to do every scene multiple times. Do you do it one way? Okay.
Oh, it's
let's
perfect.
do it. Let's do it 3 more times. All right, and then cut there, and then all right, we're gonna reset. We're gonna get an angle. We're gonna do it again from over here.
Yeah, and they move the entire. And I wish I could take pictures of what you see because it's the same room as Girls Interrupted. Their cafeteria. Have you seen Girls Interrupted?
Yeah.
But it's like a psycho ward with Winona Ryder.
Mm-hmm.
But their lunchroom is the same room that this was filmed in.
Oh.
And so huge, like it used to be an insane asylum.
Right.
There's originally a hospital. It's kind of like the Loma Vista or Loma Linda or something like that. It's a huge structure in LA. But it was originally designed for the railroad workers during the gold rush. And that was their hospital while they were building all this stuff. But then over time it became an insane asylum and for the disabled and indigent. And then they lost funding and it got to the point where they like when someone died, they just throw them in the dumpster. But it's a huge facility. Like there's several buildings on the campus and there's tunnels underneath to get you. That's where you're filming in is these tunnels that take you from like the hospital into the living quarters and all this stuff. So it's a really cool place. And like CSI is filmed there. Like we were sneaking around and we roll up into the CSI morgue. Like what the fuck? You walk up, there's just like bodies with toe tags. I mean, it's all fake, but it's the in the main CSI for Vegas, the morgue is in that building on one of the floors. It's probably a 6 or 7 story building, but it's actually a really huge building. So certain sections you'll walk in, it's like
it's in California. It's not even in Las Vegas.
No, all the park scenes are filmed in Lake Balboa area. And so I can tell you, we went to. So the girl I was dating, same girl punched herself in the eye that I had a murder. Mm-hmm. She tanned with George Eads, who played Nick Stokes.
Oh yeah.
And like she one day they would just she didn't know who he was, and so they would just chit chat, and so like, he got comfortable with her because she didn't treat him like. And so every time they would tan, they become friends. And he's like, "Hey, yeah, we're filming around the corner." It's like, "Who? What?" Yeah, here's the address, and they were like around the corner from her house because she said, well, "Where do you go? We live. We live in." And he was like, "Oh yeah, we're filming just around the corner off of this and that." And so he invited us up. And we got to eat and with all the cast because they were filming at a house, and like the whole block was shut off just for a scene of something coming out of the house screaming. Wow. And it took like 3 or 4 hours, and he introduced us to all the people because she was just cool, and we walked up there and hung out with the cast.
Nice
for the day. Like this weird shit that and then she Tori Spelling was also tan there as well, but she couldn't stand him, or she couldn't stand her. Yeah, she was a bitch.
Who?
Tori Spelling from 90210.
I don't know.
No. Before your generation.
Yeah, I never watched that show.
Yeah. She dated, or no, she was like the half brother of Brian Aston Green's character. Weren't they brother and sister or something like that? Or I don't remember.
I don't remember.
So long ago.
I know she kind of has a masculine face.
Yeah, but her dad's Aaron Spelling, who is Mr. Producer. Like he loved boats and all. And now I think 90210 was one of his productions, but he was like the god of production. And so she auditioned under a different name because she didn't want to be associated with it. But obviously they knew who she was as soon as it aired. But her dad was the shit. He's been dead for a while now, but he was like the shit in Hollywood, like a who's who as far as producers go. Like a lot of like 80s shows, like the Love Boat, Fantasy Island. That was all him.
Oh wow!
You know what's interesting is like how actors like who do shows like CSI or NCIS, things like that, they get really big for that show, but they never do anything outside of that show. You never like you were talking about
because you're pigeonholed.
Nick Stokes, yeah, like you never see him in movies or doing any other thing besides the cop show. Yeah, I think he's in a different cop show now, but it's just they don't grow outside of that.
Well, it's one of those. I think if you play a character for 10 years, you become that character. Or I only see that character every time I see you. Yeah,
you get so used to playing that one guy, you don't ever play anybody else.
Right. Whereas like Sylvester Stallone can't act for shit. That's why the Rambo movies worked.
Oh, God.
And he's like, then you see him like, you got to try something different. Like it's not I don't think very many actors have the range that people think that they should have. Like some people just can't pull off more than one character.
Mm-hmm.
And then they use like, that's the same dude, just a different movie.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's every Arnold Schwarzenegger movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's just the Spec Ops musclehead, pretty much.
Yeah. What's another one? But I think you become a character actor. You get pigeonholed as like a character actor because Vince Vaughn is like that. He just has one character.
Mm-hmm. Vince Vaughn.
Yeah. You don't have
same with like Owen Wilson.
Yeah, 100%. Like
Luke Wilson.
When we need you, you're perfect for that. We need that. When we need a Luke Wilson type guy, let's get Luke Wilson.
Yeah. You'll write a role like, this is like a Luke Wilson or an Owen Wilson, and there's only one, Owen Wilson, one Luke Wilson. Luke Wilson's kind of like Owen Wilson light. He's kind of just odd.
Yeah, because Luke's the one without this. He's an Idiocracy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but none of them are going to be like, oh my God, I can't wait to see the next the Wilson movie. But they fit in really good. Another guy that I like too is, what's his name? Luis Guzman.
Really? You like him?
I like the character that he plays. It's the same character in all his movies, but too much like a Jack Black. When Jack Black is a leading man, the movies really tank because there's too much Jack Black. But as a character actor, the range that he has, if you just slide him in like in a Tropic Thunder or something like that, it works. But you throw him in Nacho Libre, it's fucking retarded because it's just way too much of him.
I couldn't even watch more than 15 minutes of that movie. Nacho Libre.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
That's a dumb motherfucking movie. That's like Napoleon Dynamite shit. Like I don't get it.
I've watched it once and I can't go back. Well, you gotta watch it again. Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah, fuck that.
And then he got pigeonholed. Yeah, he couldn't break out. He couldn't do anything else.
Yeah, I remember John here tried to do a few like romantic comedies or something like that, but all anyone ever saw after that was fucking Napoleon goddamn Dynamite.
Right.
Vote for Pedro.
Because if you do such a good job, what do you do from there?
And who else? Danny McBride. He only plays that one guy, like the Eastbound and Down fucking baseball.
Which is annoying. That's why I never watch Eastbound and Down because I can't stand him
Oh, you don't like that character?
I don't like his.
That
I don't like
cocky fucking trailer trash character.
It's funny in small doses, but if you put him in a role where you see a lot of him, like was it This Is the End? It was good.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't a lot of him. He was a douchebag, and he fit that role of the douchebag. But then it was Your Highness. Couldn't stand it. It was just way too much of him. And same with Pineapple Express. Like, almost a little too much.
Yeah, Your Highness, he had that fucking Minotaur dick wrapped around his neck.
This is too much of, like, it's good in small doses. Like, some people just, man, I really enjoy that, what you do, but I can't watch an hour and a half of you.
Yeah, there was just a Danny McBride movie that I tried watching on HBO not too long ago. It's him kidnapping like a real estate agent or something, and all sorts of shit goes wrong. But
30 Minutes or Less? You've seen that one?
Yes.
Aziz Ansari. Aziz
Ansari.
He's another one that's in small. He's hilarious in those small doses. Like, you give him 5 minutes on screen, I'm shitting myself. But
I liked his, like, once you heard like one of his specials, you're kind of like, yeah, he's funny, but I'm good.
And same with the Indian guy. I can't think of his name, but he's all over the place.
Indian guy.
Oh, I can't think of his name now.
Indian as in India?
Yeah, Indian. Sorry.
Okay.
Oh my god, I can't think of his Russell.
Oh,
Russell. Yeah,
that guy is. Yeah, he's overplayed. Like,
first time I saw him, I'm like, oh my god, he's hilarious. I saw him as a stand-up. Oh, and then you saw the next one. It's the same fucking stand-up, but just
I know.
You just rewrote those jokes.
Yeah, he's just all right. He's gonna make fun of the Vietnamese accent. He's gonna make fun of the Indian accent. And he's gonna make fun of family.
Right.
Yep, he does the same fucking routine. I mean, different material, same routine.
But then some people like that. Like, there's some people on the low budget.
Yeah, because they're always
circuit.
getting their, they know it's always going to be something they're going to like.
Right.
It's just one of those things.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
Yeah, like, do it once.
Yeah,
it's funny.
Dave Chappelle, just give us enough to carry us by, and then make us wanting. And then when you show back up, everybody in the world's going to watch it the same night.
I don't think he would have become the icon that he is if he didn't have that scandal where he had to just leave for like 10 fucking years.
Yeah, it makes you wonder. Like, when he first did it, he made a bad. He turned out $50 million, but how much he made sense as a result?
What was he doing in the meantime? I mean,
he went to Africa. Well, he was. I mean,
for work though. I mean, was
nothing.
He just living?
He disappeared. I think he did the Inside the Actors Guild or studio, whatever. And that's like a 2-hour episode, which is fantastic. He talks about, I just went back home. I think he got caught up in the BS and all that. Because he's highly educated. I don't think he has a high school education, but his mom's like a PhD. So he grew up in that environment. And so I think he's probably well-read on his own and stuff like that, but he just got tired. He saw through the bullshit. Like, I'm funny, let me do what I want to do. And he got a lot of shit for the black clan, and then the other one with the niggas. He got shit over that, and then I think he a little bit of identity crisis because he was trying to make a black show, but they tried to mold him. They wanted him to be pop versus, which is a good thing because you look back like Soul Plane, shit like that. Like, it's weird. Like, nothing against like black people as people. But from an entertainment standpoint, the music's amazing. Comedy's amazing, but they do not make quality movies. And then you got Tyler Perry somehow found a niche that like crossed over.
He created his own fucking thing.
But he's still a grown ass black, like a 6'something black guy dressed as a
fucking Medea. That Medea shit is, dude. That is so like I cannot stand a Medea movie. I'm not racist or anything. That kind of comedy where it's like, I know this is Tyler Perry.
Right. The same with was it Big Mama with Martin Lawrence?
Yeah.
This is fucking retarded.
Yeah.
Like, I know it's you. Why do they not know it's you? This is not
kind of
funny.
like a spin of Mrs. Doubtfire.
And it's like, why am I watching this man pretend to be an old lady? Why don't they just get a fucking old lady?
Right.
I don't know. It's just a weird thing, a weird character that he created.
But you're being, with him, he's getting an old lady.
And there's so many fucking variations. Medea Christmas, Medea Halloween, Medea fucking St. Patrick's Day.
Medea goes to jail.
Yeah. Oh my fucking, it's like the Ernest movies.
Right? Black Ernest.
Yeah.
I mean, Ernest was the shit. But again, that was You could get away with cheesy back then. We appreciated cheesy. Because Ernest Goes to Jail. Was that one? The ink pen explodes in his mouth? One of the best scenes ever. Know what I mean, Bern?
Whatever happened to fucking Ernest?
He's dead.
He died.
Yeah.
Oh.
When was that?
It's been a while. Maybe a decade or so.
When did Gene Wilder die?
That was like 3 or 4 or 5 years ago, yeah.
Oh, is it that recent?
Yeah, it hasn't been too long. But when Gilda Radner died, he disappeared. Black Panther star Chadwick dies. What? Is that real?
The main character?
Yeah. Hold on, I got a text message saying that Chadwick Boseman died of cancer at 43. It can't be real. Yep. Variety, AP, People. Holy shit.
He was 43? Wow, he looked good for 43.
No shit, right? Look as good as me almost.
Yeah, almost.
Wow. Like, who saw that? Wow.
43. Man.
And he had 4 years battling cancer. Who knew?
Damn, what kind of cancer?
Let me see here. I don't want to. Because Wiki don't fuck around. You know it's already updated.
Yeah, probably.
Right there. He died of complications related to his 4-year battle with colon cancer. Oh, that's one of the worst ones, too.
Gosh.
Shit.
I thought they could just cut that shit out for colon cancer.
No, it spreads so fast because, one, the colon is not as big as everything else. If you get small intestine, you just cut that out and reroute it. You can reroute all kinds of shit. But by the time they caught it, because you got to think, again, speculation, but he's living a different lifestyle. So he has access to drugs and to get me by and all that stuff. And you don't want to be. Black people are like, if I go to the hospital and he tells me I got cancer, it's your fault for taking me to the hospital. I didn't have cancer before I went.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And that's the black community. It's like, well, you got to go, and the white man's going to tell you you're going to die. It's a weird dynamic and a paradigm within the black community that's, this is ride this shit out because you're going to die anyway. I don't want to know.
Yeah, if I don't go, it's not real.
Correct.
Yeah.
And so he probably ignored it and don't know the lifestyle that he lived, but you're living that, you're partying it up and doing all this, and you got people around you that are
4 fucking years he was fighting it too. That's a long fucking time.
Yeah. But he probably stage 3 by the time they caught it. And at that point, there's not a lot there in the colon. So you got the descending.
What would it spread to?
Ascending. It's probably going to sit right around it's probably the sigmoid colon usually where it kind of gets you. It's towards the tail end. So your options are to cut it all out completely, but that's where you absorb moisture is in the colon. And so if you can't just get rid of the colon.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't absorb water in your stomach or anything else?
Yeah. Well, the colon is your stomach. So you have the, on the right side. So you have your regular stomach, it drops down, and it drops down into the small intestine. Small intestine breaks all down, gets the nutrients and all that stuff, and then dumps into the large intestine, and that's what creates the shape. That's why it's like.
So you're telling me like all the liquid I absorb is the liquid that's
being pulled out of your shit before it comes out.
I was really hoping I was getting the liquid like pre-shit.
No, you're going towards the tail end there.
Shit.
Damn. Because it goes from the small intestine into the cecum. So the ileum dumps into the cecum. That's why you have the ileocecal valve. And then your variform appendix is a little like about the size of a pinky, hangs out the side of the cecum. Mm-hmm. And so that's the transition phase between the large intestine and the small intestine is the cecum. And so once it goes in there, then it goes up. The ascending colon goes up the right side by the liver. And then it crosses over to the transverse colon and then drops down the descending colon into the sigmoid colon, which tucks up behind your bladder and goes down to the pelvis. And that's
so if you remove the colon, you would die of dehydration.
Pretty much, yeah, essentially.
Wow.
Because the colon, it's not going to be it's going to be in the colon. So it probably spread within the colon. And because the entire colon shares the same blood supply, same nerve supply. And the colon is the ascending and the transverse is innervated by one nerve. And then the descending.
There's not like a colon transplant?
No.
Hmm.
You want someone else's shit pipe?
Well, if it means living, yeah.
No.
Why couldn't you do that?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not a surgeon. I don't know how that works. All I know is when you take guts out during gross anatomy, you'll never get them back in.
No?
Oh, God.
Yeah, everything else, you can take the liver out, put the liver right back because there's a little cavity for it. But you take the, like, what the fuck? Oh, shit. Like, you just...
Yeah.
It's like, like when you throw all your cables into a box.
Yeah. Oh.
When you put the cables in there, they were in great position. As soon as you take them, like, what the fuck? How did this happen?
Yeah,
that's
pretty much clusterfuck.
Yeah, that's pretty much the stomach and then the whole intestines.
What did I?
Oh, I don't know. You just reacted weird.
No.
That sucks. That man.
There's not gonna be more Black Panthers.
That's it. At least he finished Endgame. That would have sucked. Yeah, he wasn't even doing really anything. Well, there goes the fuck. That sucks. But good for him to like keep them on the down low, though. That's kind of how it was with Gene Wilder. Like, no one knew he was sick, and all of a sudden, he was sick and dead. Well, that's what he wanted. But after Gilda Radner died, like he pretty much just crawled into a cave.
They do intestinal transplant. Yeah.
What part of the intestine? Though?
Yeah, it just says I googled colon transplant, and this is what came up. Intestinal transplants remain the most challenging and least frequently performed vascularized intra-abdominal organ transplants. However, the last 1.5 decades intestinal transplant outcome has significantly improved, and the yearly number of transplants has steadily increased. This phenomenon can be attributed to a variety of factors that include refinement of surgical techniques, introduction of more powerful immunosuppressive agents, and optimization of perioperative immunosuppressive protocols. Okay.
Because when you introduce someone else's organ into your body, they're not self. Your entire your gut is coded to you. Mm-hmm. And so if we take it out of you and put it in me, my body is going to attack it immediately. So in order to do that, you got to shut down my entire immune system.
That's crazy.
Just to keep that in mind. So I think the hardest part, one, you got to make sure the colon's clean of infection to begin with. So there's already something in there and you put it in my body, it's going to be even worse. But you also have around what's called the mesentery. And so it's not until probably the last maybe 5 or 6 years they realize, oh, maybe there's something with that. And it's like a gland. And it has almost the same texture of like the brain and the pancreas, but it wraps around the large intestine and all that stuff and around the stomach. So it's we call mesentery. I think the greater and lesser mesentery artery or mesentery vein is what controls the colon. The one is for one and one is for the other. If you have the left colic flexure is where I think it switches off. I would need to grab a manual and all that stuff. But when you put something else that's foreign, that's why you get a sliver. Well, if we can't get it, leave it alone, and the body will push it out. Because the body's like, we don't want this fucking in here, so it starts kicking it out. So your options are to take, which is going to kill you. Most transplant recipients don't live for no more than like 5 more years. Yeah, because you're going to die of something else. Yeah, because you can't fight it. You can't even fight the common cold at that point.
Yeah, it says here that there's only been 300 intestinal transplants done worldwide ever.
Wow.
With long-term outcomes comparable to a lung transplant, what it says?
Yeah, what's the life expectancy? Like 5 years? 3 to 5?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's not worth it. Just take care of the one you got.
After,
at least he didn't die of COVID.
That would have been some shit.
Or COPS.
5 out of 10 people will survive 5 years after having a lung transplant, with many living 10 years. Really? Also reports of some living as long as 20 years.
Man.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I just figured, you get a lung transplant, boom, you're good. It's like swapping in a new one.
I mean, parts wise, yeah. But then once the body looks at it, because what will happen is the body will attack it to the point where it'll become an infection because the body will just shut it off. It'll shunt it off from the rest of the body. Because there was the guy that there was a black dude got an arm transplant but couldn't afford to take the drugs. And so the body basically rejected it and they had to cut it off. So it basically got gangrene and just the body rejected completely. So it's going to shut off blood supply. It's going to shut off nerve supply. And the body's just going to kick it off like a scab.
Oh.
Yeah, gosh. I mean, imagine going through all that effort and shit just for 5 more years.
Right.
I mean, I guess it'd be worth it because you only get this one shot here.
Especially when you're not ready.
Are you gonna be ready
I
in 5 years?
No, I'll never be ready. That's another thing.
Well, at least you have you have time to get your mental state into,
Yeah, can you go do some ayahuasca?
in death mode. I'm gonna die here in 5 years.
Yeah, that's my thing. It's like I want to know. That's maybe the black in me, but if I get it, I don't want to know. Let's just ride this out. All of a sudden, fuck, I can't even move. And we got 6 months to live. Fuck it, let's ride this out. Civil War.
My the disease I do not want is the the Stephen Hawking's disease, the Lou Gehrig's disease.
I think you're good by now. Yeah, that would suck. But he was an anomaly. He lived longer than most.
Well, it's what is it? What are they calling that? They were doing the ice bucket challenge for it.
ALS.
ALS, yes.
I can't remember what it stands for.
I mean, because you just find out that one day, the doctor's going to call you and tell you, like, oh, well, eventually your legs are going to stop working, and your arms are going to stop working, and then your eyelids are going to stop working. Everything's going to stop working, except for your brain.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck, man. It's like, what do you do if there's a fly in the room buzzing around?
You watch
just
it.
landing on your nose.
But it comes down to, trust. Because I think you still have sensation. You just lose motor function.
Yeah, but like you can't communicate to people like, hey, I got an itchy asshole. Can you roll me over and scratch it?
Right.
You can't speak.
And that's where so imagine the ones that didn't have the means of a Stephen Hawking. What do they go through? Because he had the whole eye thing. He had like doctoral PhD students that would come and help him write his thesis, and he would speak it, and they would type it and do all that stuff. So he had brilliant minds around him helping him out while he slobbered on himself.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine if you didn't have. So if it happened to you right now, are you gonna take care of Steve for the rest of his life?
I don't know. Probably.
Bullshit. Until you got to start wiping the shit out of my ass.
Yeah. The moment I got to carry you to go anywhere, our friendship's over. Nothing personal.
Damn.
I'm not wiping your butt. You shit in my house the first time. I know what it smells like.
There's a documentary. I wonder if it's still on Netflix. I'm going to recommend it to you. It's called Trans Fatty Lives. And it's a weird title. It has no relation to the actual
trans fat.
It's about a small independent filmmaker who gets ALS, and he like documents his whole journey. And it's brutal.
Like as he's dying?
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to watch that.
I mean, it's just enlightening to see what some people go through.
That's okay. That's their journey.
See, it's that type of thinking that gets people into trouble.
What? Their journey?
Yeah, their journey.
He died 4 years ago. Gene Wilder died in 2016. Oh, it's just coming up on there.
When's the last time he did a movie, though? Because, after those movies he did with
Richard Pryor?
Yeah, then he just fell off the map.
See, no, you were here, no evil? He's like, was there or wasn't there a woman? He's like, are you serious? Fuzzy Wuzzy was a woman? Have you seen it? No. One's blind and one's deaf, and, they're trying to solve a crime. Yeah, Gene Wilder was the deaf one. So his last, because that one was Another You was the last one with Richard Pryor. Yeah, See No Evil, Hear No Evil was one of my faves. I mean, the rest of them, Stir Crazy, The Frisco Kid was good. That one didn't have Harrison Ford, and he was a rabbi.
What do you do in 2005?
A narrator for a documentary.
So he just
Magic of the White City.
He just fucking retired and was like, yeah, I'm not done. I'm done acting.
He did 2 episodes of Will and Grace in 2003 and 2002.
Yeah, he was probably just like, yeah, I feel like I could do a little acting if the money's right.
Yeah, he stopped theater in 96. Stopped television in 99. His last movie's in 91. But he made a chunk of change.
Oh, dude.
Because he wrote, I think he wasn't one of the writers and the producers.
I don't know. Dude, he was huge in that time like that. He was
a shit.
I always thought he died or something like in the 90s.
And most people only know Willy Wonka.
Right.
That was in the 70s. Was it Woman in Red? Was he in that one? Blazing Saddles is the shit. He probably made enough money off the residuals of Blazing Saddles to live comfortable. Young Frankenstein was a cult classic. The Frisco Kid, I enjoyed that. I'm pretty sure that's with him and Harrison Ford. Yep, Harrison Ford. There's a bank robber. He's traveling with, he's a Polish rabbi, traveling to San Francisco, and he has the hardcore Yiddish accent. And he's just trying to take him across country. He's got the little curls or whatever. It's pretty good. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. What were you saying or looking up?
I don't know. I think all I was looking up was if there was a colon transplant, and then a couple other things, but that's it.
We can try if you want to.
We still got to do the fucking chloroform.
Yes. I'll do it, but we have Jenny now.
What?
Know your place.
I want to. I'd be down to do it too, but like I would.
We have smelling salts, so I want to wake ourselves back up.
Well, would that wake you up? I mean, would smelling salts wake you up out of like a sedative state?
Give me your house key.
Give me my house key?
Yeah, I'm gonna come in the middle of the night and crack one up under your nostrils. It'll bring you out of a dead fucking.
Oh yeah, when I'm asleep. But that's not supposed to work because your sense of smell is shut off when you're sleeping. Yeah,
but your sense of survival.
Excuse me?
Your sense of survival. It's pretty much pneumonia.
Okay.
And your senses, you might not be smelling, but your brain's still active.
So why doesn't it wake up people in a coma?
Because there's other things that are shutting the coma down. How do you know they're not just have that locked in syndrome? But they're also, their brain could be damaged to the point of no return. This is for people that are unconscious. The only reason I know that it works is because I have an asshole stepsister.
Okay.
And so my stepmom worked for the Woodward State Hospital in Woodward, Iowa, which is, I think state hospitals are very underrated. They're fucking creepy, amazing places.
Okay.
And like, that's where I see like, you've never seen a true like hydrocephaly.
Yeah.
No.
My mom's husband.
How big was his head?
I mean,
I'm talking.
No fucking way.
I'm not making this up. I wish that we had cameras and pictures back then. She was on a board. She was in a wheelchair on the back of the wheel. But these are people who had hydrocephaly, and this when I was a kid. So we're in the 80s. So these are people who had hydrocephaly like the 50s and 60s that are still alive. And so she was in a wheelchair, and the wheelchair was modified to put a board or some kind of structure behind. And so her head grew, and the head was supported on. It had hair and everything. You think I'm making this shit up, but this is stuff that burns into your brain when you're a little kid. There's a dude named Ralph. He was probably 6'8", but his tongue was the size of my hand and would just hang out of his mouth.
Oh.
But you didn't dare make fun of him because you know he had that retard strength. But he was a really cool guy. But he was like one of the ones that would kind of roam around. But the stuff that you like, man, like you always hear about these abnormalities and deformities, but you never see these people because they're at the state hospital. You're in your respective states. So I've seen true albinos. Where their eyes are red. And they're just like, I've seen some stuff that you can't unsee. So anyway, so my stepmom worked for the state hospital. And so she would always bring stuff like that home, like smelling salts and stuff like that. And Lavonda, my stepsister, would get them. And then when you're asleep, you crack them open and rub it on your nose while you're sweating. I'm telling you, it brings you go from zero state of consciousness to full-blown fight or flight.
Holy
that fast.
Shit, this guy's head is fucking huge.
I hope a compressor got that. You gonna put it up? Share for those that are watching.
And it's literally giving me a stomach ache.
Okay, see? Head. You didn't believe me. Did his go up or did it go straight back? Like off the back of the back of the skull? Does he have hair on it and everything? He's bullshit. No. You don't want to share.
Let's see. Here we go. Let's see. Let's just do.
The guy on the right?
Yeah.
That's not even bad.
Bro.
That sucks, though. We get the idea, Steve. But yeah, like, what did it measure?
That's what she was wanting to know. I don't know, but there's not like very many pictures of when you type in hydrocephalus, you mostly see babies with big heads.
Right, because technology. But you got to think they weren't taking again mid to early 80s. So when I was probably early teens, late out, 9, 10, 11, 12 years old. Because every year they would have either I can remember being like the 27th and 28th of June, but it was their 4th of July Independence Day celebration. And so pretty much the reason the town was there was to basically cater to the hospital and the people that worked at the hospital, lived either on the property around the hospital or worked in or lived in the town. And so it had a gas station, 2 bars, another place, had a bank, a grocery store, Bob's, an Indian couple. It had a fire station and 1 cop, Roy. So if Roy, and we knew Roy was an alcoholic. So if Roy was drinking on a Friday night and his car was at home, no cops were out. He was passed the fuck out. And so
you don't see any like pictures of adults with it.
Yeah, because you can catch it now. Now you can put in a shunt.
I know, but like I feel like there would be documentation somewhere of like these people with these big fucking heads. I mean, not that I don't know. Maybe I'm just getting a little bit way into it. Like, well, you got a new fetish now.
You'll try to find a hydrocephaly baby.
I don't like looking at this. It's making my stomach hurt. It's literally like, ugh.
Sorry. But you believe the head's got that? But yeah, again, because it's before. Yeah, like chick right there. She has a shunt, and now they have where the shunt will drain into your stomach, so you got to have a hole sticking on the side of your head.
Yeah, Robin has something like that. His head's all fucked up. You can see where like they have something in there to like for drainage. It's because it's all lumpy. Yeah.
Different times. Now that it happens today, they probably catch it while you're pregnant.
Really?
Yeah.
You're just making that up, though.
Oh, man, this guy. Read a book, man.
What?
So, man, I had all kinds of stuff to get to as well.
Well, we didn't do the segment of the interesting thing that happened in the year.
Did you have something?
Well, me and Jenny looked some things up for our years. Did you?
Let's dance. Well, come on now. Like I did my homework. Well, I had
oh my God, he's got it written down.
Well, no, because listen. We
didn't really do the format.
If anybody's still listening, well,
what's the format again? The intro segment.
What kind of high I want to do? Well, that's the thing with guests. Like, I think now because we're at almost 2.5 hours. I think if 2.5 hours ish is what we're trying to go for. I think the format moving forward will have the intro. Just like, hey, because we don't hang out during the week because Trump or whatever your reasoning is. And so we do like the introduction, whatever, do a quick little segment, or just go straight into the guest. Which to me, when I talk to people that come on, I always say like 7:10, 7:15.
What did you think about today's guest?
We didn't even talk about that.
Yeah, let's debrief on that quick.
I don't know. I learned a lot about Canada.
Yeah, I think that's probably the most interesting part.
I wish I would have known more about the Nutcracker Syndrome going into it. So that's my fault. But again, I want to keep the.
Well, she said she wanted to be on the podcast and talk about her life-changing experience. Was that?
Well, that's what I saw her post, and I'm like, hey, like, would you like to come on our cast? We got a slot coming for today. Are you available? Yeah. And so we spoke through Facebook, and I didn't want to ask what it was because I don't like having preconceived notions of the conversation, because then I'll start all week. I'll come up with crazy ass jokes and all this stuff, and I won't write it down. But then the joke is no longer funny in my head, and so I want to be as surprised in the moment. I want to like whoever's listening to this podcast. I want to experience it the same way they do in that moment. Like you're like, fuck, you had to cut your fucking kidney out because no one believed you. They thought you were crazy.
It's amazing that they just did it based on what she was telling them.
Yeah.
But I didn't think you could just do that. Like, hey, cut my kidney out.
But I think if she walked in with enough information to support it, you're going to find someone, we'll try it. But once you find out what it is and narrow it down, that's the problem. Like, that's why they call it practice and stuff like that. That's what I hate about the medical world is like, you got people that know what the fuck they're doing. Mm-hmm. They'll throw drugs at it. Instead of like, when my patients have something, I will spend the remainder of my night looking up and talking to other chiropractors to be like, hey, have you run across this? What did you adjust? What did you do? Or I'm having a problem with this. I'm constantly learning. And I hope that that's a thing that happens all the time, because I know once I stop learning or stop caring, then I'm gonna become dangerous. I'm gonna be sloppy. They're gonna tell me something's wrong with them. I'm not gonna listen because my ego is too big, and I'm gonna adjust. I'm gonna hurt somebody. Like, I'm humbled to do what I do. I love being a chiropractor, best job on the planet. But I'm also learning, and I care so much about my patients that I hope that never goes away. But I'm also older, so I'll probably be dead before I get to or as a person that became a chiropractor in their early 20s. By the time they reach my age, they're burnt out. But I'll be dead before then, so before I burn out, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully.
So, or no longer practicing because I won the lottery or got me a sugar mama in Canada. So I think the conversations of Canada, I think, was the best part of all of that.
Yeah,
it was cool.
Her life-changing experience was not what I was expecting. I thought she was maybe going to go into like childhood abuse or, I don't know, spiritual or, something like that. But I lost 100 pounds. And what did she say? She had it for like fucking 7 years?
I think it started 7 years ago. She started to lose 100 pounds. Took her a year to lose 100 pounds. And then all of a sudden, all hell broke loose. Yeah, but I don't think she's done a lot of podcasts. So it's probably one of those things like, I've never done this before. So I'm going to tell you everything all at once.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I think a lot of podcasts, I guess, from the research, most people are only on for like 10, 15 minutes. Fuck that. I'm going to talk to you to death.
She was very engaging. I mean,
she seemed very knowledgeable about like Canadian policies, Canadian healthcare. It's like,
we learned a lot. Like, we learned how shitty fucking America is. The fact that you created a program just to hook our people up. That's how you fucking, granted, there's only 50 million of them.
Now we know.
Yeah, there is only 30 million of them, yeah.
Yeah.
So they're not putting out as much money as maybe we are, but.
And they locked their fucking borders down. It's hard to get in. I think that's more our side, though. Yeah. Americans are trying to lock us down for fucking ever, which cracks me up. If you don't like us, let us go.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sure Mexico would treat me a lot better than America would. But I don't know because I can't go past 20 miles.
I don't know.
But I got to be a chiropractor down there. I don't need anything extra, but I have to go to Mexico City and apply in person.
Yeah. I don't think you even needed to go to school in Mexico to be a chiropractor.
Probably not. No, a lot of countries are like that. But if you have the degree from America, sky's the limit. Like, I go to Vietnam right now and be killing it.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah, I got a guy in Malaysia right now. He's like, bro, come to fucking Vietnam. Like, you'll kill it. Because you have American education.
But you gotta learn how to speak fucking Vietnamese.
No. Just need one person that knows how to speak English.
Yeah, you have to hire a secretary who speaks both those languages.
Yeah.
There's Google Translate.
There you go.
Yeah, because that's super professional. Hey, can you just...
All I gotta know is, where does it hurt? Point to it.
Mm-hmm.
Lay the fuck down, shut up.
Yeah, you could just give them a little diagram written in Vietnamese that says point to where it hurts, and I'll fix it.
But would you also be immersed in the city or in the culture? So I'd probably be speaking fluently within 2 to 3 months.
Speaking fluent Vietnamese in 2 to 3 months.
Yeah. That's
a bold claim.
How long did it take you to learn English? I guess you were 3 when you came.
Years.
Do you speak both Laos and Thai, or do you?
I can understand Thai, and I can speak a little Laos and understand it.
Okay, but not fluently. But did you used to be able to speak it?
Yeah, I used to be very fluent at both.
And your mom was like, "No, you're America, Jenny from the Brock." I'm like, but mama, no.
Her parents still don't know English very well, and they've been here since fucking 1990.
They don't give a fuck.
They're just like, yeah.
And now at the internet, they can watch their news. They can watch. They're like, yeah, why? If I wouldn't either. If I go to another country, I ain't learning shit.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Just get yourself.
That's just American entitlement, though.
Yeah, because over there I got white privilege.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy? Like, only an American would be, that, just like entitled to where they go to another country and be like, nah, you're going to speak my language.
Right. And that's the thing. Instead of, like, we live in the not so much anymore, but once upon a time, we lived in what was perceived globally as the greatest country on earth.
Yeah.
We could easily just rode that train.
Mm-hmm.
You know, instead of treating our black people like shit, we're gonna treat the rest of the world like shit. Black Americans, you're fucking Americans. We're gonna conquer the world and
just super positive. Yeah,
like Canadians.
Yeah,
I heard. Yeah, my last partner was from St. Lucia or whatever, Aleutian Islands. Oh, yeah, all nonchalant.
I mean, does that mean he's black or what?
Oh, I don't know. I thought she was implying that. I don't know.
He's light skinned.
He's from an island.
Probably, yeah. We gotta look it up. We're probably like a blonde or blue-eyed dude named Tommy. Look that up. So, what was your fun fact then, since you guys did the homework? Because I post things on the group chat and no one ever fucking talks. So I didn't know.
I'm not a big texter.
I'm gonna start calling you then.
Okay.
Like, God, fuck, I'll text. Record does that shit to me. We'll get into a text message and I'm just gonna call. He'll video call me.
Really?
Yeah. That's
weird.
He called me today. We were talking about something. I was like, well, I didn't have time. Because I know once we start, we'll talk for a good 15, 20 minutes. Yeah. I'm like, bro, just invite me over or something. Because it's like, yeah, we'll have legit conversations. And it's so weird because it's not my generation to stare into a phone and just have a conversation with it. Like, it's not natural.
Yeah.
It's not, yeah. And nothing against him. Like, he's a cool guy, but it's like, it's awkward.
Yeah. I don't like that.
It's too futuristic for my generation.
Yeah. So, fun fact. 1990.
This week, 1990, right?
Oh, this week in fucking 1990?
These motherfuckers. God damn it.
Dude, fucking
there's
not fucking shit going on.
One simple fucking text.
Let me mention that.
No, I'm going to read this shit. Let me go back to the text here. So we have a group chat. These motherfuckers. Anybody out there that just wants to be on a podcast and do what I say, come on in. Okay, so catch up was we had discussed about doing like segments and stuff like that.
Yeah,
we just kind of talk. And I think it does say that.
Yeah, it does.
Okay, I thought for sure. I mean, it doesn't have to necessarily, but I think just to try to have segments and kind of flow the show better. So the how I wanted was intro. We can go intro straight into a guest, then have a segment, then discuss the guest, which we forgot to do because we don't have structure. I think that's where we kind of lose. We just talk but from an advertising standpoint, we need to kind of break it up. And so in between each segment, we can have an advertisement since no one wants to support our channel. So we got to get advertisers and keep the show rolling. And so we do it like that. I put the basic format. So we do intro, guest, segment, discussion, segment, and then outro. But the one was like the weird news, which the weirdest one that I found was, there's one, some people broke in New Jersey. Some people broke into a petting zoo and then put lipstick on ponies.
A weird thing to do.
Right. But that's a real story.
And getting him to hold still for that.
Yeah, and kiss you back. So another good one, let me get what I've talked about today was, where is it at? It was going to be Wearded Beirdos worldwide weird news. So in Scotland, there was a sheep that sold for £365,000, which translates to, hold on, 365,000 pounds is $487,000. So they bought a sheep for $300,000 for breeding.
Wow, that must be some sheep.
Right? It better give me head too.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things. So reading the article, her name, the lamb, was Double Diamond. And so I guess that their meat is delicious in compared to other lamb.
I believe it.
And so you spend that money to breed more. And there was 19 animals or lambs that went for over $10,000 at this auction, with Double Diamond going for the $365,000. Could you imagine being bought just to have sex?
What? That's not that. What does that have to do with it?
Well, it was bought for breeding.
Oh.
Was the basic because that $365,000 is going to breed.
Okay, I thought that the person who was buying the sheep was meant to have sex with it.
You better. If I give Steve $365,000, you can best believe he's giving me some.
If I'm fucking an animal in my household, like behind closed doors, is that still illegal? As long as
I think bestiality in general is illegal.
Yeah, but what
In
if no
some
one
states,
fucking
right?
knows?
Or is it in all states?
Yeah, the dog don't say shit. Nothing. I think it's a crime of moral turpitude. It ranks up there with like incest.
Oh, okay.
But how do you get caught? You get caught because you tell people. Shut the fuck up and fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're gonna have sex with an animal, shut up about it. There's no animals. I think cats are cute.
Well, you know,
There's not cats.
Don't be
There's not
making
cats.
videos of it.
There's not cats big enough.
but then how is bestiality porn a thing?
Right. That's how you get caught. I don't think there's a
Next
beast.
thing you know, there's a fucking woman jacking off a horse and fucking sucking on its dick. And
Yeah, but
how much money would it take for you to put your mouth around a horse dick? Big old stinky fucking horse, a bunch of naked white guys standing around you jacking off.
Wait, why you gotta put the white guys in there?
Yeah, what's
I'm just
with the
trying to
white
think
guys? Well, that changes.
That just makes it
everything.
awkward. Yeah, now it's a show. If I'm doing it, I don't know.
Wait, you think you're going to be like alone in your living room with the horse?
I'd say 10 grand.
Yeah, we gotta have an intervention for those 6 months over here. 10 grand to suck a horse off. So those of you who are listening and want to create a GoFundMe account that have a horse and 10 grand laying around.
Fuck that. 10 grand ain't enough. Not for me.
No.
If somebody came up to me and was like, I'll give you 10 grand if you do this, I'd do it. No, I won't. I wouldn't eat shit for 10 grand. It has to be more.
At least it'd be 11. Yeah, but you're eating ass.
Then I would really think about it.
But you'll eat ass for 6 months of jail.
Yeah, I'm a pretty easygoing person.
I see that. Man.
Well,
the right sugar daddy can make some really good negotiations with.
Yeah, in history in 1990, dude, there was nothing happening, dude. In August, the UN Security Council authorized military action against Iraq for, I'm assuming, the Gulf War. But
well, it was just a suggestion. That would have been a conversation had these people talk or text me back. And then originally, before Jenny came along, me and Steve were talking about the show. We were going to get together the day before for like an hour or something like that. But he doesn't have enough time for me these days.
October 3rd, reunification.
That's what happens. See, it's like a text message. I'm texting myself.
Reunification of East and West Germany. A West German flag is raised above the Brandenburg Gate on the stroke of midnight. Oh, so my mom was right.
See, that's interesting. All right, so mine in 1975, this week, it was August 25th to be exact, was the release of Bruce Springsteen's Born to Run album.
Boo.
What? Everybody knows who Bruce Springsteen is 45 years later.
Yeah.
And if the song came on, you could probably sing along to the chorus of Born to Run.
Maybe.
Okay, so then the top 10 songs this week, 45 years ago, we'll start at the bottom. So Fight the Power by the Isley Brothers was number 10. I don't know that song. That's why it was number 10, not number 1. Number 9 was Why Can't We Be Friends by War.
Why can't we be friends? Okay.
See? It stood the test of time. That's what I wanted. The point of the whole segment was to have discussions, like have these things. Like, you know, if I say Born to Run, Bruce Springsteen, you might not be able to quote and say every song or every lyric on the album, but you're familiar with Bruce Springsteen and you're familiar with the song and his popularity. So he stood the test of time. That's kind of what it was to basically have a discussion over how generations have certain things to the test of time. Like, I don't know number 10 of Fight the Power by the Isley Brothers. Didn't even bother to look it up because it didn't matter.
Never even heard of the Isley Brothers.
Anyway, because they're more, but back then they're more black.
Okay.
Ron Isley is probably the most famous, so I think he might still be around. Anyway, so then number 8 was Someone Save My Life Tonight by Elton John. No fucking clue.
No.
I didn't even know Elton John went back that far.
Yeah.
What year was this?
1975.
Wow.
Okay, and then number 7 was At 17 by Janice Ian. No clue.
No.
This was a shocker, but I didn't look to see weeks prior or weeks before. But number 6 was Jive Talking. And that's the song I say Jive Talking. I ain't got to tell you who it's by. You automatically know who it's by. Yes?
No.
The Bee Gees?
Oh,
okay.
Okay, sorry. See, that's why I wanted like this. I assumed like you got to know the Jive Talking. Telling me
well, now we know.
Well, yeah, I mean, I know the song. I don't know the names of these songs, you know.
Okay, sorry. Number 5 was How Sweet It Is by James Taylor.
I don't know. I never
How
listened
sweet it is to be loved by you.
Oof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Number 4 was One of These Nights by the Eagles. I have it in my head, but I can't. It's like one of these nights.
Okay.
That's all I know of the song.
Yeah.
Number 3 is Rhinestone Cowboy by Glenn Campbell.
Really?
Yep.
Huh.
Falling in Love by, I didn't write down the name of the I'm assuming it's that Could It Be I'm Falling in Love. Out of tune on that one. It's
Okay.
dry, but I think it's that song. It's by Hamilton, someone else's name, someone else's name. I had no idea. And then number 1 this week on the pop charts in 1975 was Get Down on It by Casey and the Sunshine Band.
Get down on it.
Right, yeah. But right there, you knew exactly what the song was.
Yeah.
But again, should you know number 2 through 10? Probably not, because number 1 usually stands the test of time.
Yeah.
And this was like a fluke. But number 1, that means it was so popular, it beat out Jive Talking by the fucking Bee Gees, who were gods in the 70s.
Yeah. Those guys
Rhinestone Cowboy. These are
that was a gay fucking song.
right, but these are pop charts, so that's why a crossover hit, because it was a country song.
Yeah.
And when I saw it on the pop charts, I'm like, wow, I had no idea that they crossed over. And then James Taylor, these are heavy hitters throughout time. Like everybody knows who James Taylor is. So you can a little bit about who he is. Isley Brothers I only know because I'm in the black world. But like Elton John, I didn't even look at the song. I didn't care because I probably know the song. I just don't know it by name. But that was interesting. So that was what I brought to it. So it was more or less to spark a conversation about just like our generations and like just I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, what were you doing in 1990?
Me?
Yeah.
I would have been 15.
You were in 15 and 90?
Yeah.
Oh.
I was born in 1975.
Okay.
So it'll put me in
Freshman year of high school.
10th grade?
Yeah.
Or
Ninth grade.
9th grade. Yeah. So, okay. No. Yeah. In 1991, I was in nope. Got another month. I was in juvenile detention.
Okay.
And no, that'd have been no, in 90 would have been older than that. Yeah. Been 15? I guess not. Fucking math.
75, 90, yeah, 15.
I was sent away at 14. So 89. I was in juvenile detention like a month from now until like December something. I mean, I was home for Christmas. So yeah.
Yeah, I was being born.
In 1990?
Yeah.
I was already having sex.
Nice.
Yeah. I could have been your father. Let that suck.
Yeah.
Yeah. See? Great discussion.
Yeah, that'd be kind of interesting if you were my father.
1990, yeah.
Would it surprise you?
We probably wouldn't be in touch then, I guess.
Why you say it like that?
I mean, I'm just saying because your kids are all over the place.
Because they're adults.
I know, but you all live in different states. Is what I'm saying. Like,
Okay.
we wouldn't be living here at the same time.
2 of them live in the same state. 1 lives in Texas. There's 2 in Iowa, 1 in Texas.
Oh, okay.
Oh, she may be
They're
back.
still in Iowa?
I
Oh
gotta
my gosh.
fuck out.
They must really like it there.
It's the Iowa thing, man. Like you get caught up in that bubble. And I think it's the mentality because it's
Are they like you, like the kind of like black on the outside, white on the inside kind of thing?
wow, that's so of course.
Okay.
Of course.
I'm
Of course.
curious.
But
I know that's a racist way to
that's
put it.
horrible to say.
I'm sorry, but
that's a conscious choice. I went through the whole Malcolm X phase and had the medallions and the Malcolm X poster.
Really?
Yeah, I went through the whole because you go through I walked the line, I guess. So I got family on both sides. I got thugged out, hardcore drug dealer murderers on one side, and I have the same on the other side, essentially, because my mom was a murderer. And what's funny is I'm the only non-felon on my white side. Well, me and my youngest uncle because he was mentally handicapped. I believe my mom and both her other brothers have felonies.
Wow.
My grandfather has a felony because he went to prison. My grandfather went to prison for murder. Then you got old Germ chilling. The Black Shadow. He's the only non-felon. Never done prison time.
Good for you.
Yep. But statistically, I should have been. I had a 100% chance of being the black criminal in the family, the black prisoner.
Yeah.
It was my grandfather who wanted to, which is the only reason I ended up in foster care because my grandfather was in prison during the time I was born.
Yeah, you had mentioned that.
And so, but he loved me to death. And so, what was yours?
Oh, I have it up.
You didn't write it down and memorize it.
No.
Wow. From now on, you got to submit your by Wednesday.
Okay, Professor.
You need to get like a project management, like something
Teams.
so we can throw we can have like a bulletin board, like a generalized one, so we can throw ideas and stuff like that. Because I really want to build the sheep. That was like a real story. Like it's a real story somewhere in the world. Like, but that's not CNN's not covering that. So that's why I want like a segment to just talk about this weird fucking shit that's happened over the last week leading up to it. We don't have to necessarily go. We're just trying to throw ideas out there, not to be I don't want to be like most podcasts just talk about something very specific and they're just trying to educate and all that. I just want to just fucking talk. I just want to be like just talk radio. Was it like AM radio essentially?
Yeah.
Have an interview, have a guest. If not, who cares? We'll just fucking talk. We're trying our best to have a guest every single week. So what you got?
Ronald Reagan was the president. What else?
That wasn't hard. We put some effort into it.
In the year, I know the Unabomb happened, and the Amtrak train crash in Maryland.
Where were you born?
1987.
The Unabomber was in 87? Or UN bomb?
That's a good one.
What were you saying? The Unabomber was in the 90s, wasn't he?
I don't want to say the 80s. He was sending bombs to like...
yeah, he started sending bombs.
To that college. What's that college in California? Berkeley.
That was that far back? Wow. What was his name?
Ted Kaczynski.
Yeah. I was thinking Kuklinski, but that's the ice.
Yeah.
It was caught up in...
He was a mathematics prodigy.
Right there, the system failed. He should have been cracking codes.
Yeah, he
and
looks
shit.
like he's mentally ill.
But he should have been cracking codes and shit for the government.
Yeah.
You failed. You got people that are like that. When I was in juvenile detention, I had a friend that we were friends here, or in my hometown, and then all of a sudden he just disappeared. And like, fuck, what the hell happened to him? Oh, he went to live with his dad in Chicago. So when I got sent away, we ended up at the same place. He'd already been there. And so I thought it was just a regular teenage idiot like me. Dude was a fucking human calculator.
Really?
Like by the time you would get those like math worksheets that have like 3 columns of like 5, by the time you wrote your name, he'd be done.
Wow.
That's impressive.
Yeah. Stupid in every other project or every subject, but a math god. As far as I know, he's a barber.
Damn. What a misuse.
Yeah. He got out. But he was black. Who cares? He got out before I did. And I remember when we were back, we were eating lunch together at school. He turned to me. He's like, "Did you get a hug from, I think it was Mr. Nemmers?" I was like, "Yeah, of course I got a hug." He said, "For real?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "Why wouldn't I got a hug?" I asked her for a hug and she said, "No, I'll give you a hug when you get back." He went back like 2 weeks later.
Damn.
And that was the last time I seen him.
Damn.
Up until he popped up on Facebook like a year or so ago. And he's a barber.
That's too bad.
Well, Ted was autistic, apparently.
Yeah, he wrote a manifesto.
So that's probably why he was like a math genius.
Apparently he his manifesto was like so dangerous, like the FBI didn't want it getting out because like his ideas are so dangerous.
Yeah, that's a guy you embrace. Like, bro, come and build bombs for us. Can you imagine how powerful as a country we would be if we would just get all these serial killers and just let them fucking loose in like Berlin or something like that? Like, just find these people. And for all we know, we could. You ever seen was it Point of No Return with the Fonda chick, Brigitte Fonda, where her and her friends broke into a convenience store. They ended up killing the clerk. She panicked, like curled up in a ball. I think the store the clerk may have killed, or the owner, because he lived above the store. He may have killed the friends, or they took off running, but she got caught, got blamed for it, got sentenced to death, and then they gave her lethal injection. And as soon as lethal injection, then she wakes up in a government facility and is trained to be an assassin.
Oh.
Because she had pretty much the one, no one really cared about her. She was dead to society anyway, and so why not take this body and use it for something else? And so she was trained to be an assassin and would travel the country and do her thing.
You ever hear about that mathematician? The guy that cracked codes? He cracked like Nazi codes or whatever.
Imitation game?
Yeah.
Turing?
Yeah.
Look at what they did to him.
Yeah, right. But yeah.
It's crazy.
Fucked him over, literally. Like, yeah. That's so. But
I
yeah,
cut breasts now.
Chemical castration.
Like, imagine had you just let. Who cares? Who cares if it was fuck whoever you want to fuck? Make computers.
Yeah.
Yeah, they took him out completely, right?
Yeah.
Once they found out he was gay.
Because he got caught. Because I was like, did he get caught by somebody, or someone ratted him out, or someone saw him, or something?
Well, like it was later in life, like well after his Nazi career or his code breaking career, like he reported a break-in or something, and the cops showed up and noticed that he had like a young Puerto Rican kid there, not a kid, but like an 18-year-old,
right.
like a teenage, and their body language was just off. So he's like, I'm gonna look into this, and he started investigating him, and like did an investigation and found out he was gay. Like just went off on his own side thing.
That's right. I wouldn't let it go.
Yeah. And they said he had to do chemical castration or physical castration, one of the two.
Yeah, but either way, like that's still a shitty thing. Like like you're a national fucking hero. You're a global hero. You pull it back, but that still wasn't enough.
Yeah.
Let it go, and like you just basically erase him from history until later on in life. They did the same thing with the chick who discovered thalidomide, because we didn't know what enantiomers were until thalidomide. And so the chirality of thalidomide, what they were creating, spun one direction chemically, and that was the good stuff. That actually cured motion sickness, or excuse me, morning sickness in childbirth. Did you cut us off?
Did I? What the fuck's going on here?
And then the one that spun the other direction created the little flipper babies, and the baby have like a shoulder and then a wrist and fingers coming off the shoulder, and I have like the arm. It was fucking up babies. And so she was like, when they're trying to bring it to America, she's like, no, we don't know what the fuck's going on. We've got to study this. They didn't know it was an anatomy yet. So we got to study all this. And I'm like, no, what are you doing? You're going into the science of sound. Look at the research, blah, blah, blah. Drug her ass through the mud. 9 months later, all these deformed babies started popping up. I'm like, oh my gosh, she's a national hero and all this stuff. And yeah, it was. But in that moment, instead of taking the time to like, hey, maybe let's see what she's talking about first. And then we have enantiomers, which is, unless you take fucking chemistry, you don't know what that is. But essentially, so a chemical compound spins to the left, it's one thing. If the chemical compound spins to the right, it's something else. So fennel seed and spearmint chemically are the exact same thing, except for one spins right, one spins left, if that makes any sense.
What's fennel seed?
This is like a seed, seed. I think it's fennel. I could be making that up.
Just
but
a
I know
seed.
The seed, but the chemical compound, like H2O, right? So like this chemical structure,
yes,
chemically, if you look at it through a microscope, is the exact same thing. One is spearmint, spins one direction. One spins the other direction, is fennel seed.
Okay, why is that a big deal?
Really?
I don't get it.
They're chemically the exact same thing.
Yes.
They're just spitting separate ways.
Okay.
Right.
Opposite ways.
But does spearmint taste like fennel seed?
I don't know. I've never had fucking fennel seed.
Look it up. You've had it before. But I'm saying one's like a fennel seed would be like a spice. One's sweetened spearmint. The other one's fennel seed. I'll tell you what another one is. Anyway, one creates abnormalities and huge genetic anomalies in babies, one cures morning sickness.
Right.
But they didn't know the difference.
Yeah.
When they're creating it. So your mix may have had and the entire time the women that had these flipper babies didn't have morning sickness, but you didn't know until the baby popped out that what you were taking for morning sickness caused abnormalities. And some women took them.
I thought thalidomide was a birth control.
No, it was a cured morning sickness.
Oh, jeez. Thanks.
But the fact that but under the microscope, it looks exactly the same.
Yeah.
Because they didn't care about what it was spinning, because it doesn't happen with everything.
Mm-hmm.
H2O is spinning in either direction to H2O.
Yeah.
And it's the polarity. So we would, in class in organic chemistry, we would look at things through like a polarized lens, and you would see that it would look one way, be the same chemical, and you do it with the lens, it would look one way like this and then one way without. It was kind of cool in that moment, but it's stupid in the real world. It's
cool that a polarized lens would show you that too.
Yeah.
I wonder who figured the fucking how that works.
Fucking smart people that care about shit like that.
Yeah. So Turing, he after they proved that he was gay, or that after they had him plead guilty to the crime, he had a choice between doing some jail time, which it doesn't say here how much jail time he was looking at. It just says that he had the option between jail time and probation. And if he did probation, he had to do hormonal treatment to reduce his libido. And they introduced a synthetic. He accepted the option of injections, which was then called, now known, stilbestrol, now known as dithistobestrol. Oh, I don't know.
Is it the depot shot that they were giving him?
I don't know. A synthetic estrogen. This feminization of his body was continued for the course of 1 year. Treatment rendered Turing impotent and caused breast tissue to form, fulfilling in the literal sense Turing's prediction that no doubt I shall emerge it from a different man. Yeah. Ooh. Yeah, he lost his security clearance and all that, but it's just like...
But he was still the same dude. You saved the fucking world, but you suck dick.
They changed him.
No, and at the same time, he was willing to destroy his body to get out of a little jail time. He could have avoided that if he would have just done the jail time.
How long was the jail sentence?
I'm not sure. I couldn't find.
See, right here. You wouldn't have got shot if you would have just listened.
I'm just saying, he fucked up. Obviously he thought it wasn't going to be a big deal.
He fucked up.
Yeah. He fucked up.
Oh, yeah. Once he was in the situation.
You should just went to jail for sucking dick.
I'm not saying it was right, but when it came down to making a decision of jail time or chemical castration, take the fucking jail time.
No, I'm with you.
So,
but the jail time would be admitting that you were guilty.
Yeah, so was taking probation. You're still pleading guilty. You're still pleading guilty. You just...
And didn't they struggle to even reverse it and like clear him? Like up until like recently?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, they pardoned his crime or whatever.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna find some anatomer. Yeah, we're at 3 hours.
All right, yeah, let's cut her down. Cut her down.
Yeah.
All right, peeps.
Bye.
See you later.
Bye.